compounding the wait. So I get it. It's a long wait in St. Louis County, and you're looking at all the branches. Some branches, like it's like 2 hours, 3 hours wait because you see at one point there were 380 people in line at one of the branches in St. Louis County. And again, these are long ballots. I'm going to give you the best kept secret in St. Louis County. I know you can look this up, but I feel like I'm giving away a secret. I told family and friends in St. Louis County to go here. The Lewis and Clark Library branch in Moline Acres is no line. They are super efficient. As soon as there starts to, like a line starts to build up, somehow still they're able to get through it. It was run so well, so efficiently, never a wait.
And that was on a Saturday.
And that was a Saturday. I think I waited 6 minutes, and one of the election officers or one of the people helping out with the line was like, "I'm sorry, this is the first time, we've had a line like this." I think I maybe waited 6 minutes, maybe 7, most. It was beautiful. There are a lot of windows. It's a beautiful library. So the sun was streaming in. Everybody was so friendly. "Are you here to vote?" "Why, yes, I am." "Oh, perfect. Step right over here." "Why, thank you very much." And I stepped in line. I got my ballot. Even one of the people working behind the table, I said, like, "Oh, I'm so excited." She's like, "Oh, we've got an excited voter here." And I had to stop myself from singing the national anthem. It was so much fun. And I'm telling you, there were people who were in line at the Mid-County branch. I'm not poo-pooing that. I'm just saying that was a really crowded one.
Yeah.
Who were probably still outside by the time I drove to Moline Acres and back and voted, who were probably not even through the door yet. Like, literally, it was just a delightful experience all the way around.
I will tell you this. I don't recall ever, of all the times I've voted in my life, I don't ever recall a cranky poll worker.
I've never had a cranky poll. That's a great point.
They're always like happy that
yes.
I don't know. It's weird. And I voted in Illinois. I voted in Missouri in my lifetime. It's interesting how I feel like the people who are working at these polls take their jobs seriously and love that they are part of the process. So be friendly to them if you ever do go and vote. And we encourage everybody to do it. But be nice to people. By the way, the early numbers are in, and this is as of this morning, how many people have voted so far. In St. Louis County, over 78,000 people have taken advantage of early voting.
Wow.
In the city, it's over 18,000 and over 20,000 in St. Charles County. So we're talking well over 100,000 people so far have already cast their early votes. And that number is going to continue to go up because there's another week to do it. You have until next Monday, so a week from today, to cast your early vote.
It's awesome. It's so much fun. I don't know why. I feel like I know it's not moving the process along, but I feel like I'm going to get started. I don't know. It was just a fun feeling. There's been so much of a circus atmosphere, I guess, around this election, but to go there, to cast your vote, it's very, very exciting. And like I said, I told Mason Jar, I'm like, go to the Lewis and Clark Branch Library in Moline Acres. It's so easy to get to because you're super close off of Highway 270 or 70. Like it's like right smack dab between both highways. Super easy to get to. Everyone was so friendly. So thank you to all the poll workers at the Lewis and Clark Branch Library. Absolutely a delight. Some more numbers from early voting. Now, this is according to the University of Florida Election Lab. Very, very cool. Over 41 million Americans voted early as of yesterday afternoon.
That's a huge number.
More than 65 million mail-in ballots were requested. Of those, 21 million have been returned, and over 20 million have cast early in-person votes. That's
a huge
amazing.
Number. Yeah. Because, you have to consider the fact that not all of the 340 million people in the country can vote. They're not old enough, and some of them don't have the status to be able to vote.
And I will say this, like I said, we talked about doing your research when it comes to the amendments. You've probably heard of Amendment 3 and Amendment 2. Did you know there's a 5, 6, and 7? You want to do your research, obviously, as well. In St. Louis County, there are St. Louis County propositions regarding the county council. I think there were 3 of those. Here's the thing. I got a hand cramp voting for the judges. Do you know how many judges there were?
There are a lot, like 20.
24
okay,
in St. Louis County. Maybe that was Missouri Supreme Court too. Yeah.
okay, so I was looking at my city ballot. I got the sample ballot, and it's like 20-ish or
20-ish,
so.
yeah. And on the county ballot, there's 24, but I think that also includes like the Missouri Supreme Court.
Yeah, there are 2 Missouri Supreme Court
Yeah,
justices.
yeah. And so I got a hand cramp. So twice, because like you said, the circles are just a little bit bigger than you think.
It's a little big.
It's a little big.
It's a lot to
and
fill in.
The pen's not a gel pen, which is fine. You don't want to bleed through the ballot.
Yeah.
But you have to, yeah. Twice I had to go like this and shake out my arm, hold my arm up and shake out my arm because I got a cramp.
The early voting is a really great thing, and I'm glad the country does it. Most of the country is doing it more than 7 days out. Missouri is one of those states that allows voting more than a week out. Illinois is also the same deal. There are 4 states in the country that allow early voting starting like today or tomorrow. That's Kentucky, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Maryland. And there are 3 states that don't offer it at all. New Hampshire, Mississippi, and Alabama are the only 3 states that don't offer it, or you have to have an excuse. So pretty much every country in the union allows early voting without an excuse, 47 states. So that's pretty good. It should be universal, though, I feel like. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously, with each state, they run it differently, but very exciting. And like I said, thank you to all the poll workers.
Tell us about your experience early voting. If you have done it, have things gone well, give us some detail. And hey, man, we are just over a week away from the actual general election. We are 8 days away from starting to get some actual results. How you feeling at this point? It is Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. Our phone number, 314-436-7900. And of course, we want you to be listening on the Odyssey app and drop us a voice message by tapping the mic button and hitting record. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Now, with the MLB app, you can get baseball your way. Pick your favorite team, your favorite players, and get customized highlights, stories, and breaking news right on your home feed. Follow the action with Game Tip, where 3D replays add another dimension. Plus, notifications can keep you connected to every pitch, every hit, every game. The MLB app. Baseball your way. Download it now for free from the App Store or Google Play. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Hey everyone, Dr. Colleen Bosler of the Audiology Center has a special invitation for everyone listening to this program. Doctor?
The holidays are approaching quickly, and some of you may remember struggling to hear when you were with family and friends last year. We want to make the holidays more enjoyable for you this year by providing you with the gift of hearing. We're hosting our annual Here for the Holidays promotion October 29th and 30th, and we will have lots to offer. Free hearing screenings, free earwax removal, free video otoscopy, and free demonstrations of the latest hearing aid technology. And finally, $700 off a new set of hearing aids.
Thank you, Doctor. That's an incredible offer. Folks, the Hearing for the Holidays promotion, October 29th and 30th at all 3 Audiology Center locations. Reservations are recommended. 636-441-7470, the Audiology Center, STL.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-511-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider, 800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-511-3535.
In the know, on the go. Trust KMOX for local news that impacts St. Louis and the region. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody.
That is comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, who is on, you've probably seen the popular podcast that always features a bunch of comedians called Kill Tony. That was him at Madison Square Garden yesterday, where former President Trump held a rally, which was a fairly interesting rally. And that joke has gotten a lot of attention and a lot of criticism. Even one of his own campaign people tweeted last night after that joke that basically that does not represent the Trump campaign. So,
which is a side note, of all the things that they could say don't represent Trump, whether it was, I don't know, the Hitler comments or grabbing women comments or poisoning the blood comments or cats and dogs, they're like, oh, well, this comedian, I guess if Trump says it, it's okay. If a comedian says it, then you push back. You know what I mean? It's a disgusting comment. I just don't understand. You know why? Because here's the difference. There are 500,000 Puerto Ricans in Pennsylvania. And I think the Trump campaign said it's all fun and games, saying, racist comments or racist adjacent comments, unless you're in the state where you need those voters.
Well, that is a huge issue for them. And let's talk about the joke itself. Look, jokes are jokes. Fine. I feel like context matters, though. If he does that in a stand-up set, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to make a whole lot of people mad. You might. And I think even Puerto Ricans might find humor in it, maybe. I don't know if they do. But it's the setting of it being at a political rally where that candidate is speaking afterward. Probably not the best place for that.
And maybe I'm paranoid, and this is one of the many reasons I would never run for political office, but I would just be terrified that anybody I invited to my rallies or, to be involved in the campaign or to endorse me, that they're going to have some type of unsavory background or comment that's going to pop up. And you go, oh, this is who endorses Amy. That would stress me out. And here's the thing, neither side worries about that because there are a lot of problematic people who endorse Harris. There are a lot of problematic people who endorse Trump. And you're right. Again, I don't like these comments because I don't like vulgar language. I don't like racist language or racist jokes or jokes that stereotype people. I don't like it. But if he had done this, if this Tony Hinchcliffe had done this joke in a stand-up routine a year ago, you're like, okay, he's a comedian, but now he's at the rally. In the same way, honestly, I really didn't like Eminem performing at Kamala Harris's rally because I'll read his lyrics, which are super rapey and gross and super vulgar. They really offend me. But like you said, he didn't, I guess, say those words at the rally.
He did
said them.
not.
He said them in
No.
his songs, right?
Yeah,
So you can
from
say,
years ago.
yeah. So you can say that in their respective fields, they've said problematic things, but you don't say them at the rally.
That's right. I mean, that's the bottom line. I'm
Yeah.
consistent on this. Had Eminem read some of those lyrics, it wouldn't have made any sense because it would have been totally out of context. But had he done it at the rally last week where he was, yeah, I think we would have had a bit of a problem, just like Hinchcliffe here should not have done it at a rally. And Trump's campaign spokesperson, one of them, said that, and this was according to Scott Jennings on CNN, who, he's pretty defensive of the former president. And I think that's just kind of his role on CNN, which is fine. And this morning he said it was stupid. It was stupid. And the people that he has talked to have told him the joke wasn't vetted. But Hinchcliffe, of course, was vetted. I mean, they would had to have vetted him before allowing him on the stage. But they say that joke was not. That he kind of freelanced was the word that they used.
Yeah. And again, it wasn't a winning speech. And there were a lot of just bizarre moments, to be honest, that even some of the most conservative, I don't even want to say conservative, some of the jersey-wearing Republican commentators said, this is not the slam bang finish you want. This was, as one non-conservative commentator said, it was an in-kind donation to the Harris Walls campaign.
Now the question is, does it really have any teeth in any meaningful way? Does it move the needle for people? I mean, if we're just over a week away from the election, and if people have not already voted, does this change anybody's mind, or does it change enough people's minds on the margins that it will end up mattering?
Right. And that I don't know. Again, there are like 6 million Americans living in the US have Puerto Rican heritage.
Yeah.
So 6 million Americans living in the US, and then obviously there's Puerto Rico. And that does move the needle. And not so much as changing minds, as John Hancock and Michael Kelly have said, everyone's minds are made up. What you're doing is rallying the base.
Yeah.
Does this rally people who are kind of maybe on the fence, like, you know what?
About voting in general.
I hate both of them.
Yep.
I'm not going to vote. But maybe there are some who go, you know what? On principle now, I'm voting against this guy or for Harris or whatever it may be. Maybe. Because you're not changing anybody's minds at this point. That's why celebrity endorsements, you don't say, oh, Taylor Swift or Bruce Springsteen. You're not changing people's minds, but you might rally a few voters who otherwise wouldn't have voted. And that's what this is about.
There was also a comment that the former president made last night, and we're going to get to it, I think, a little bit later. We're running out of time here. But I would love to know what he's talking about. And I think a lot of us are confused, and you may have heard of it, but it was him saying we have a little secret that we're going to, and I'm paraphrasing, that we're going to
it's making a big impact.
Reveal after the election, which and it has something to do with the House of Representatives. It was a little vague, and I don't know if I like the idea of saying something like that, which almost sounded sinister in a way. I don't really understand the purpose of it, but we're going to get to that a little bit later on. Of course, your thoughts are always welcome, whether you agree with us or not. On the Odyssey app, send us a voice message, record it, and send it. You can also give us a call at 314-436-7900 or send us a text at that number. But when we come back, Mr. Soccer Bill McDermott joins the show. It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Right now, 38 states allow sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 biggest newspapers, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Here's Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith asking you to vote yes on 2.
Back in my day, I was the wizard of the infield. Now, I'm a grandfather. That's why I'm voting yes on Amendment 2. It means over $100 million for Missouri schools and teachers, and no more broken promises. There's a constitutional guarantee that the money goes to our schools, and legalizing sports betting is great for us fans too. That's why the Royals, Chiefs, Blues, and Cardinals all join me in saying yes on Amendment 2.
Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
At 10:30, we've got some clouds. It is 62 degrees downtown at the Arch. A deadly fire in a home in Belleville. Let's take you live to the scene in KMOX's Stuart McMillan. Stuart? All right, we'll check in with Stuart at the top of the hour. Got a stalled vehicle, 270 going north at Olive. That's got the left lane closed. And the forecast is sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Chances are you have a lot of people who depend on you, your family, maybe even employees. Life insurance from Penn Mutual can provide you peace of mind and protect the most important people in your life. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. High today approaching 80, low tonight 67. For tomorrow, very warm with a high temperature of 83. Right now, we've got 62 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. The director of Siteman Cancer Center, Dr. Tim Eberline.
When they have a comprehensive cancer center, and of course, Siteman is the only comprehensive cancer center and only NCI designated center in the entire state of Missouri, and in fact, in this region.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
You love your city, but let's be honest, the commute, not so much. That's where the free Odyssey app can help. Download the app and follow your local news station so you can get the latest traffic reports or find if your train is on time before you walk out your door. Knowing all this gives you time to think about the essential things like, do I have time to get coffee? Download the free Odyssey app and search your local news station. That's AUDACY.
Missouri's judicial system gives voters the final say in retaining their judges, so know your judges before you vote November 5th. Visit yourmissouriJudges.org. That's yourmissouriJudges.org.
Paid for by the Missouri Bar, Misha Epps, Executive Director.
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Genesis of St. Charles is knocking it out of the park with the biggest inventory around. In fact, selection at Genesis of St. Charles is the best they've ever had. So head to their state-of-the-art facility and see for yourself and take advantage of 0% financing through the end of October. See dealer for details. Stop in today at Genesis of St. Charles, a quarter mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive off 70, or online at genesisofstcharles.com.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
It's a night to be entertained and inspired. The Musial Awards return to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 23rd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Musial Awards an event like no other. The Musial Awards, presented by Maryville University. Saturday, November 23rd. Tickets at musialawards.com.
Podcast The Bernie Mickler Show today on the free Odyssey app and follow to receive Bernie's daily take on Cardinals, Blues, or whatever else is in the news. AUDACY.
Corner of the box. Now it's Croquet through towards us. Oh, a shot. Berkey diving. Save, deflects it over the end line. It's a corner kick. Big time stop from Berkey to keep us scoreless.
Now, the City SC season is over for 2024. It has been for about a week now, or maybe a couple of weeks even. At any rate, we are in the midst of the off season, and it doesn't matter. We will talk in season, preseason, mid season, off season. We'll always talk soccer with our guy, Bill McDermott, who is Mr. Soccer. And Bill is being honored with the 2024 Clay Burling Media Career of Excellence Award. And he will officially get that award in January, but he is named the 5th recipient of it. And joining us on the Quiver River Electric guest line this morning is Mr. Soccer. Bill, how's it going?
Fine, Chris. How you been? Amy, how are you?
Doing pretty well.
Good.
Well, congratulations on the award.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I think that's pretty much a textbook example of if you indeed stick around long enough, you'll get some sort of recognition or award. In other words, the next sentence out of the award presenter's mouth is, that's about enough, isn't it? Okay, thank you.
No. This is, it's nice to be recognized.
It is.
You're already a Hall of Famer, but to get something like this, it's also very, very cool.
Yeah, you know what it is, Chris? And as a matter of fact, it started with and will always be about St. Louis soccer. But after a while, after being involved in the overall schematic of it, it turned out to be about national and international soccer as well. When I started to work for ESPN and doing World Cups and the league, the MLS package itself in 1996. So indeed, it started with St. Louis. It's always going to start with St. Louis. That's how it was for me. But then it got into be national and international. And the only reason that happened is I was in the right place at the right time, growing up in North St. Louis, being an Irish Roman Catholic. That meant you played soccer. Simple as that.
Well, and like you said, some of it that right place, right time, but also just the preparation, the knowledge, the work that you put into it. You mentioned being with ESPN. You joined at their inception in 1979. But in 1970, you covered the World Cup in Mexico for
Yes,
KMOX.
ma'am.
For KMOX, that's awesome.
For the Mighty Mox in 1970. Now, I called in from Mexico, Amy. I have zero notion of who I spoke with at that particular time, but it was just a report of the World Cup and what was going on, and there was the distinct chance that Brazil was indeed going to win another World Cup, and the overall hype around that particular World Cup, the excitement around that World Cup, was the fact that it was Pelé's last World Cup for Brazil. So it turned out to be not only did they win, Brazil won the 1970 World Cup, but they are still largely recognized by a goodly number of the people who follow sport as the best international and national team that's ever been assembled.
Wow. Quick note, because that's 1970, how much did a phone call cost from Mexico to the U.S. in 1970?
Amy, I have no notion whatsoever, but I do know that Steve Moore did not approve it.
Of course, obviously not.
Yeah, he wasn't
Bill.
going to. Yeah, there's just no chance of that happening.
Send the bill to McDermott's house.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Bill, I don't know that a lot of people realize that you were with ESPN as ESPN started.
We did the very first soccer game, Chris, on ESPN September of 79. It was UCLA against St. Louis University at Washington University's Francis Field. That was their very first soccer game. And then fast forward to that, where I did some other league games for various leagues, the Italian tour, the Brazilian tour, and then got placed on the broadcast crew with Ty Keel from St. Louis and Phil Shane from Florida on the MLS beat. And we did that from 96 when the league first started in April of 96 in San Jose. And I worked with them till 2004 and then went to work with the Columbus crew, which was a real big part of my career simply because it started May 15th, 1999 is a significant date in the history of soccer in our country because it's when the very first soccer specific stadium was built in Columbus. And the truth be told, one of the main factors for recognition for the sport, respectability for the sport, crowds for games is the fact that there are now soccer specific stadiums and we're no longer playing at Giant Stadium, the Rose Bowl, huge venues like that, which if you had a crowd of 20 to 25,000 people, which is very respectable for soccer in the United States. But at the Rose Bowl, it defeats the purpose of everything you were trying to accomplish. So soccer-specific stadiums are an immense part of the growth of sport in our country.
I'll just do a side note on that. I actually didn't realize that about the Columbus Crew. I have a friend who moved there a couple of years ago. He's a huge soccer fan, and he posts on his social media all the time, like the support of the city for the Crew, whether it's bars or restaurants and parties. And I'm like, man, they have a huge and passionate fan base there. I didn't realize that the roots that were there.
They do, Amy, and Ohio is a soccer crazy state. And let's face it, sports wise in Columbus, Ohio, there is one entity, and that is Ohio State. Then everything else is second or third. But the Columbus Crew has carved a tremendous niche in that community, not just for sports, but in particular for the sport of soccer. And all the credit goes to one person, and that is Lamar Hunt, who was one of the absolute pioneers, not just for MLS, Major League Soccer, but way back in the late 60s, early 70s for NASL, the North American Soccer League. Lamar was in the forefront, along with Bob Herman from St. Louis, in really being foundation builders for the sport in our country. At that time, the large recognition for the sport was due to two World Cups being held in English-speaking nations, 1966 in England, and then fast forward to the one in our country in 94. That's what really started the fact that, hey, I think people are starting to get this, and we can build on this. And that is precisely what happened, in particular for MLS, when the World Cup came to our country in 94.
Talking with the Hall of Famer Bill McDermott, Mr. Soccer, is with us on KMOX. So the city season came to an end recently, and it just, it was not like the opener. It was not like the inaugural season, which went a little better than I think we expected it to go. And this one, not quite as good as we expected it to go.
Not nearly, Chris, not nearly. Where do we start with the things that may have led to this? Well, in particular, some injuries to absolute key players. Klaus, Leuven, you lost Cilio Pompeo. Cilio Pompeo is a big loss, and a lot of people forget that because in the early part of the year, right prior to his injury, he was perhaps one of the most consistent players at wreaking havoc in the other team's backfield because he continually ran at defenders. So he was either going to get a shot from inside the penalty area close to it or win a foul, one of the two. You lose him, that's a big part of the overall losses to key players. Thomas Ostrak, Klaus was out for a while, Rasmus Alm, Joachim Nielsen. And then you bring in the offseason. You thought that your right back and left back situations were taken care of when you're bringing Nicholas Steyer and Thomas Totland. Now, Totland did indeed continue to feature at right back, but the left back situation, and as a matter of fact, the back four defenders, they were for all intents and purposes different for every game, which did not help the continuity at all. A lot of the things that St. Louis City did in the first season, that total pressing, trying to get the ball back as soon as possible when you lose it, as close to the other team's penalty area as possible, that leads to a lot of fatigue very early in a season. Fatigue leads to laziness on the ball and then fouling, as a matter of fact. That was another detriment because the team ended up defending tons of set pieces on a regular basis. Bradley Carnell and even John Heckler said they both like a little bit of chaos in getting the ball. Well, up to the forwards, that's what other teams do to cause chaos. That is, give their key players, give the forwards the ball, and let them wreak some chaos in St. Louis City's backfield. But to get to the bottom line of this, 8, 13, and 13 is just not acceptable. John Heckworth knows that, and everybody at City knows that. They will not stand for that again. There's going to be some changes made, and Luke Pfannenstiel at the last press conference of the year wasn't too secretive about it either. He said, we know where we have to make some changes, and we will go about doing so.
Bill, I know this is an impossible question, but what can fans expect next year? And do you see any reason for hope that things might significantly improve.
Oh, yeah, by all means, Amy. Now, you're going to see a goodly number of the same players, the same key players. You can build on Hartle and Teuchert and Simon Betcher, who came late, likewise with the rest of those players. The truth be told, they were dug too deep in a real deep hole, as a matter of fact. So they just couldn't get out of it. I don't care if you brought Paulo Maldini and Cafu and Franz Beckenbauer over, you weren't going to get into the playoffs. It was too difficult an assignment. But they'll make some changes, and yes, they will be ready to go for next year. In particular, I think now this is still being worked on, and according to Lutz Pfannenstiel, they would like to take care of this as quickly as possible, and that is John Heckworth going to remain as the head coach? Let's take the interim label away and perhaps make him the head coach. I think he is a very good candidate because he knows the sport. He's infinitely aware of all the intricacies of the sport in our country. He's been with college teams at Wake Forest in particular. He played there. He's coached various youth national teams. He's been with the full men's national team. He's coached in Major League Soccer. So he knows the intricacies of the game and the strengths of players. When players come over now from various parts of the international players come over from various parts of the world, if they're 22, 23, 24, 25, that player is not going to change. That player is not going to turn into Kylian Mbappe or Ronaldo. So what you see there is what you get. It's going to be a matter of a coach who can work with personalities. Forget the X's and O's and the tactics. Can I manage the personalities on my team? Carlo Ancelotti, the coach for Real Madrid, who has a first 11 of international stars. They lose a game by a score of 4-0 in front of 86,000 people on Saturday at home in Madrid at the Bernabeu. He said, a lot of it has to do with me, but our players are good. We'll rebound. A lot of it has to do with, forget the X's and O's, the tactics, the formation. It has to do with the players' attitude and the contributions they bring to our club and our city, and what we can continue to build on to make this sport as popular as possible. And that's what City is going to do. That's what City has been doing. And they're justifiably getting rewarded with a full men's international game at City Park on the 18th of November. So that's one of the things the league has tried to do, mixing up with U.S. soccer, and that is award franchises who have built soccer-specific stadiums to continue the growth of the sport in our country.
We're looking forward to that game in November. As you mentioned, we are looking forward to season 3 for City SC, which will happen next year. And we're looking forward to our next conversation with you. And, Bill, looking forward to January when you will receive the Career of Excellence Award.
Yes,
Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks, Amy. Oh, by the way, Amy, as we conclude, Bastian Schweinsteiger said hello.
Oh, well, thank you very much. My brother will be thrilled to know that the most German name of all time, Amy Markscore Schweinsteiger. It's just so German.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, he's very common. He listens to the show all the time.
I thought so.
Yes,
He
let's go.
struck me as the kind of guy that
That's
would
what I
really
thought.
appreciate this.
Yeah.
Long-time listener. He's never called, though.
Yeah. Well, I get
he
it.
doesn't call.
It's
All
intimidating.
right, guys.
Thank you, Bill.
very
You're the
See you,
best.
Bill. That's Mr. Soccer, Bill McDermott, again being honored with a 2024 Clay Burling Media Career of Excellence Award. He will officially receive that award in January.
And I have another soccer shout out. Rockhurst University, in Kansas City, has announced its 2025 Hall of Fame class. That includes their 1975 and 1976 men's soccer teams.
Is Dave on it?
Dave Mark scores.
Oh, good for
Hot
him.
Dog is on it, along with Tony Toko, Hall of Fame coach. And we have several members of that soccer team that listen to KMOX all the time in the show.
Awesome.
So congratulations to the 1975, 76, and 78 Rockhurst University men's soccer team going into the Hall of Fame.
Congratulations to everybody. When are we getting our award?
Well, remember when we had to make our own?
Yes, I
think
do.
we drew a picture.
We need to make up another one.
Yes, we do.
Just for you and me.
And we'll send a company-wide email.
It is your favorite show's favorite show. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. Award-winning. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hey guys, it's Dave and Rachel from The Dave Glover Show.
So Smart Mouth is the only mouth rinse in the world that has a chemical reaction that makes sure that your bad breath is gone for 12 hours at a time, which means 24 hours a day, zero bad breath.
Yeah, all you have to do is rinse twice and you are covered for 24 hours. That means you never have bad breath. Plus, there's a product to fit whatever your needs are. To learn more, go to their website, smartmouth.com/Glover. And while you're there, you can get a coupon for $2.50 off.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler for 213 Flashpoint Complex, which is available at Supplement Superstores. It'll help take you to the next level like it has for me. I've been going for a couple of months now, and it is doing everything and more that I wanted to, boosting the metabolism during the daytime, fighting cravings, giving me all day focused energy with no crash. And at night, you get to burn fat by lowering cortisol levels, get some boosted recovery, get a good restful night's sleep, all the things you need to reach your goals. 213 Flashpoint Complex is available at Supplement Superstores. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Can't make it to Kansas City for the big game? No problem.
Kelsey, 3-point stance to the left. Here comes an inside blitz.
Experience every Kansas City Chiefs game like you're in the front row at Ballpark Village.
25-20 downfield block. 10, 5.
Join fellow KMOX Chief fans on game day and feel the roar of the crowd right here in St. Louis.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
Chiefs watch parties presented by Jim Beam.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-253-6259. 800-253-6259. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-253-6259.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office.
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
Count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hi, everyone. This is Ben, board certified master arborist with Timberline Professional Tree Care. Here to talk with you about removing dead, dangerous, and unwanted trees from your property. Timberline has recently invested in cutting-edge equipment to remove your trees in the safest, most efficient way possible. In fact, our robotic tree removal can remove trees in about half the time as conventional means, with less manpower and thereby saving you a ton of money. This is just one of the ways that we continue to innovate. Timberline has a cost calculator on our new website, stltreecare.com, which can provide you a guaranteed tree removal quote instantly from the comfort of your own home. Don't hassle with trying to get your brother-in-law's cousin or whoever to come cut your tree down. He's never coming. And that guy that won't call you back, he's never coming either. Save yourself a bunch of time and money and call Timberline Professional Tree Care today at 636-479-7475 or use the cost calculator on our brand new website at stltreecare.com.
Trick or treat, Halloween is around the corner. Let's not use wishful thinking when it comes to safety. Beware and take care. Don't drink and drive. From your spooky friends at Odyssey and Onder Law Injury Lawyers.
I'm Megan Lynch. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy?
Rhonda, I have great news.
Okay.
McDonald's will resume selling quarter pounders this week in all restaurants after looking at new data regarding their E. coli outbreak. Of course, that was linked to the Quarter Pounder burgers, but now they're deemed safe and you can eat Quarter Pounders.
It was all about the onions, wasn't it?
I believe so.
So they have different onions for the Quarter Pounder. They're a little bigger. They're not chopped as finely as the ones that are on regular burgers.
But they don't have E. coli on them
They
anymore.
did not have the poopy stuff on it. So
Which
that's
is
good.
great. And another quick McDonald's update. Remember how the broken machines, there are always broken McDonald's machines because of the monopoly? Well, a new ruling by the monopoly on the machine fixers.
Right.
Yes. The U.S. Copyright Office on Friday ruled that those machines at McDonald's are exempt from the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which allows restaurants to now hire third parties to fix commercial equipment.
Good.
So now the McDonald's machines don't have to wait for that one company to come fix all the machines.
It was a racket, and they were built or are built so that they have to be maintained on
all
purpose.
the time. Yep.
It's a ridiculous thing. If you're into the McFlurries or whatever they have at McDonald's. So now you can go in or you can go through the drive-through and they will no longer tell you that they're out of ice cream, which I guess they do to a lot of people. This is not a great story, and I was debating whether or not to bring it to you. But a 37-year-old woman who was a skydiver was killed this weekend, Amy, when they were preparing to go on a jump, and she was taking photos. They were on the ground. And she was taking photos of other skydivers and backed into the propeller.
Oh my gosh.
Which was active.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Where was
37
this?
This happened just outside Wichita, Kansas.
Oh my gosh.
So
it's
bad, right?
That's like Indiana Jones.
It's exact. You've seen that?
I have. Weird, right?
You have?
Unfortunately, and I was like in first grade or something when it came out. I was far too young.
That was not Temple of Doom. That was the first one, right? Raiders
It
of
was
the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, yeah.
I cannot believe you've seen that.
I know, because I've seen all three, unfortunately. The one where he rips the heart out. You know, that was because
You've seen that one too?
Steven Spielberg's divorce. That's what that scene, he wrote that scene like after the divorce. And then also the melting. Don't look at the Ark of the Covenant.
That's right.
Yeah.
Your face will melt off.
That's right.
Anyway, hey, when we come back, there is an awful thing that is happening to elderly people who have dementia, who are unknowingly donating hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to political campaigns. We're going to talk to a reporter on a CNN investigation on that very story that is coming up next on KMOX.
It's warm now, but winter will be here before you know it. That's why Banner Construction is having their pre-winter window event. Choose from Banner's various energy-efficient brands and window price points featuring beautiful Pella windows. Banner is a certified Pella contractor and preferred James Hardie specialist. If you've been considering new windows or a fresh new exterior for your home, see Banner's work at bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050 and have a banner day. Tom Ackerman here for Busey Bank, proudly naming Jewish Family Services of St. Louis as our latest building community partner. Each year, JFS supports over 60,000 children, families, and seniors of all religions, races, and abilities with a comprehensive range of services. With the support of partners like Busey Bank and others, JFS alleviates hunger and improves mental health. Learn more at jfsstl.org.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President of Busey Bank. For 150 years, JFS has been building community by understanding the unique and complex needs of each family they serve so they can connect them with high-quality care at no or low cost. Like Busey, JFS remains steadfast in the belief that every person in St. Louis deserves the chance to not only survive, but to thrive. Join Busey, get involved, and help us continue building the communities we call home.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold for Newbold BMW. Do not trust your BMW to some quickie lube place. Bring it to our award-winning service department. That's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows. And save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC+. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's PHILO.tv.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
At 11:01, we've got clouds. It is 64 degrees downtown at the Arch. 2 people are dead and 1 person is unaccounted for after fire in Belleville.
2 cadaver dogs have arrived to search the house that went on flames this morning at about 5:20 when crews arrived. It was completely engulfed. 1 person was killed and they pulled another body out a little bit later. 2 others were injured. They're still looking for 1 more body still inside the rubble of the house. It's completely charred on the inside, black soot covering the walls as I got a peek inside, and it looks like most of the damage, though, was at the rear of the house. On South 13th Street in Belleville, Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Bellefontaine Neighbors City services are closed today, catching residents by surprise.
A letter posted outside of City Hall is notifying the public that City Hall is closed because employees have staged a walkout. Now, the reason for their walkout, they say, is lack of staffing that has left them overextended and made it, quote unquote, nearly impossible to do their jobs effectively. Here's one woman I spoke to who was looking to just get a morning workout in.
It's really frustrating because I have a gym membership, so I was expecting to be able to come in today and work out, but unfortunately, with no email, no call, I just feel kind of blindsided right now.
Now, the letter says that they put their frustration solely on the city's Board of Aldermen and not on Mayor Dina Tatman. And in fact, it says their actions have the full support of the mayor. Outside Bellefontaine Neighbors City Hall, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Former President Donald Trump hosted a rally Sunday featuring crude and racist insults.
Former President Donald Trump held a rally Sunday at New York's Madison Square Garden.
November 5th, 2024, 9 days from now, will be Liberation Day in America. It's going to be Liberation Day.
The Trump campaign had dubbed Sunday's rally as the event where he'd deliver his closing message. There were normal attacks on his Democratic opponent.
Kamala Harris is a train wreck who has destroyed everything in her path.
But there were also lewd and racist comments about Latinos, Jews, and Black people. Comedian and podcaster Tony Hinchcliffe.
There's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah,
I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Senior advisor Danielle Alvarez issued a statement saying this joke does not reflect the views of President Trump or the campaign. But also at the rally, Trump's childhood friend David Rim referred to Vice President Kamala Harris as the Antichrist. And businessman Grant Cardone told the crowd that Harris and her, quote, pimp handlers will destroy our country, end quote. I'm Donna Water.
The KMOX Business Desk. Volkswagen retreats on EVs.
Volkswagen plans to close at least 3 factories and eliminate thousands of jobs in Germany. The company also plans to slash wages for tens of thousands of German workers by 10%. The cuts are part of a larger restructuring effort to address the company's struggling sales and profits, particularly in the EV market. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel is up 236 points to 42,350. We've got debris on 70 going east at Bryan Road. That's got the right lane closed. They've just cleared some road work. 44 going east at Pacific. There is a disabled vehicle, 44 going west at Murdoch, and that's currently got the right shoulder there closed.
Partly sunny this afternoon. It'll be breezy and warmer with highs near 80. After a breezy evening, partly cloudy and warm overnight, low 67 degrees. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by DesignAirService.com, St. Louis leading air conditioning and repair service. Clouds in 63. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Design Air, the customer is most important. From emergency repair to HVAC maintenance, high-efficiency furnaces, or an air conditioner installation, get great service from DesignAirService.com.
The Chris and Amy Show, sponsored by St. Louis University Billikens Basketball. Choose your seats for 5 or more games and receive savings off the single game ticket price with a 5-game mini pack starting at $75. Purchase now at slubillikens.com.
Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji on KMOX. It is hour 2 of the show, and we are glad you are with us. As we mentioned in the previous hour, CNN investigative reporting has done a really good piece on elderly people in the country, many of them with dementia, who are unknowingly contributing lots of money to political campaigns, in some cases, many thousands of dollars, and they don't know they are doing it. To talk about that with us, Kyung La is a CNN senior investigative correspondent, is with us this morning on the Quiver River Electric guest line. We appreciate your time. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me to talk about this important story.
It's really unbelievable. I mean,
awful.
It makes sense. You would think stuff like this would happen. I just didn't think it was happening to the degree it is.
And to people who are not wealthy. That's what really gets me about all of this, is that the people we spoke with are retired housekeepers and teachers. These are our ordinary Americans, the ones who are sending all of this grassroots money to these campaigns, and they're the ones who can't tell the difference in the text messages that I'm sure everybody is getting, right? It's an emergency. Yeah. You need to donate. You need to make a difference. They actually think these campaigns are speaking with them, and then they sign up for these recurring payments, and it quickly piles up on top of them.
Yeah, and I want to get to those texts because they are sent as if it's personally from Donald Trump or Don Trump Jr. And if you're an elderly person, especially one whose mental faculties might be declining, you believe it. And the CNN has a story. You guys had your story that leads with the 80-year-old communications engineer from Texas, how he saved for decades. And he started to struggle with dementia. He began making online political donations over and over. In less than 2 years, he had donated $500,000 and his savings was gone. $500,000 to former President Donald Trump and his savings was gone. That seems criminal to me.
It seems criminal, except remember, political speech is protected speech. His family would have had a path forward potentially if this were a private company. But because this is a political campaign, they have a very difficult time trying to prove fraud. That is a very high barrier. So my advice to you, if you're concerned about somebody in your life, or you just want to check to see if someone you know, a grandparent, a parent, might be accidentally falling into this, just check fec.gov, put their name in, and you can quickly see if it's happening. The people who we were calling and talking to, and we spoke with hundreds of elderly Americans and their families, many of them weren't aware that this was happening to their loved one until we notified them. So it's really important to get ahead of this.
Yeah. So, in some of the other cases, how was it discovered? Where did, I guess, sons or daughters may have gotten a hold of finances and realized that these donations were recurring?
Well, some of them, we told them.
Yeah.
They weren't aware that their parent or grandparent had been slipping in this manner. Others had noticed that their parents seemed to struggle with money or had asked their child to borrow some money. We spoke with one family who has an 81-year-old. He's a retired farmer from Iowa, and suddenly he's calling his kid saying, "I need $1,000." Well, he had saved his whole life. He'd never needed money. And they realized that their father was $50,000 in debt, that he had burned through not only his life savings, but had also put all of that money on his credit cards. So a lot of times it's a very slow awareness. And so imagine the grief of the trauma of your loved one suddenly having no money, but also you realizing that you are struggling with someone in cognitive decline.
Yeah, and I'll read some of the texts that you have in your story, and how personal they sound. Like, here is one text. Quote, "I wrote this memo just for you, and I really need you to take a look before the weekend. Please read my every word." Or, "This is Don Jr. I have an urgent update regarding my father. I can't type it all here, so I'm adding a link to the full brief." It seems like a personal text from either someone in the Republican Party or Don Trump Jr. himself. Follow the link. They're saying that it's urgent to save the Senate. It's urgent to save America. My grandparents have since passed, but I could see my grandma reading this text and thinking, okay, well, this is from Don Trump Jr. I've been a Republican my whole life. He probably did reach out to me personally so that I could help donate.
Yeah, I sat with a gentleman who said that Donald Trump had invited him to Mar-a-Lago. He truly believed that.
Wow.
And I spoke with another woman whose mother had died from cancer and cognitive decline, and she had written letters to Donald Trump saying, "I'm so sorry, I can't give you any more money." She had already burned through $200,000 of her life savings. So it feels personal. It feels real. And when you think about who we're dealing with in many of these cases, 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds who may be living alone, who may have recently lost a spouse, you start to understand how they can suddenly feel as if these politicians are talking to them.
CNN senior investigative correspondent Kyung La is with us on KMOX. This is happening with both Republican and Democratic associated campaigns, correct? Do we know to what degree?
What we have been able to go through in more than 1,000 public reports and complaints is that it is happening among both Republicans and Democrats. It's happening through their fundraising platforms of Win Red on the Republican side and Act Blue on the Democratic side. It is important to note that we did find 7 times more complaints from Republican donors than Democratic donors, but it was happening to families on both sides of the political aisle. Just it happens more intensely on the Win Red campaign. We did also talk to Act Blue. We were never able to reach Win Red, but Act Blue said that, yes, they understand that this can happen, and that they have a customer service line to try to help people if they discover that the donor is in some sort of cognitive decline.
So are these organizations doing this intentionally?
It depends who you talk to. What the campaigns, people who have worked in fundraising, both on the Democratic side and the Republican side, tell us is that this is schemy. They understand what is happening. There are Republicans who have told me that they purposefully will not use WinRed because they believe that elderly people are being taken advantage of. And on the Democratic side, I spoke with a Democratic fundraiser who says what is eventually going to happen is because so many people are being burned by this, that the horror stories are so intense, is that eventually people are going to want to stop donating. Not only are those text messages that everyone here who's listening is probably getting incredibly annoying, but they're also manipulative and damaging.
And to be clear, these texts, they're actually going to the Trump campaign or the Harris campaign, whoever it is. It's not like a scammy text where they're saying like, I'm a prince and I need your money, or a romantic text. Like these are actual campaign texts. It's just that the elderly receivers of the texts are responding to them over and over again.
They're going through this funnel of WinRed on the Republican side and Act Blue on the Democratic side. So if you think of these campaigns on one side and they go through this pipe and they end up in the donor in your cell phone, essentially, that's how it's flowing back and forth. And so there are some what's referred to as scammy PACs, meaning these political action committees that we have no idea where that money is going to. It's dark money. So some of that is also happening here.
Okay. And then also with it skewing, like you said, more to the Republican side, does that have anything to do with political affiliation by demographic, meaning younger voters tend to be Democrats, so they're not going to be reeled in as much as maybe some of the older voters who do skew Republican?
It's basically a foundation of, if these campaigns can somehow predict that they're going to get money through pre-checked boxes, that's what this is all about. And so that if they can essentially predict that someone is going to constantly donate, and if you go to an ad, if you click through one of those text messages, it takes you to an ad, and a lot of times it'll say, yes, I want to donate weekly, and it's already checked. That means if you have a memory issue and you click these things multiple times, every single week you could be giving a certain amount of money. And that's how you burn through money so quickly.
That is very deceptive, whether it's intentional or it's not, because not everybody checks those they don't look to see if a box is checked sometimes, and they just go ahead with it. You mentioned the one person who had given almost $500,000 over the course of a couple of years, actually. Some of that money has been recovered, about $150,000 of it, as you lay out in the story. How does that money actually get recovered? And is it possible for some of these people to recover all of it?
It's almost impossible to get all of it back. That is the one consistent story we've heard from everybody, is these platforms, WinRed and Act Blue, are existing in a way that they are just connective tissue between the campaigns and the donor. So they're the conduit. They flow your information and your money to a campaign, and then that campaign might be over by the time you discover it. So a lot of times it's impossible to get this money back. That's why if you believe that something like this could be happening to your family, or you just want to check, I would encourage you to go to fec.gov and just take a look and put in your loved ones' names. If they've donated more than $200 in this cycle, then you will see their name pop up.
And I also want to encourage listeners to read your story on CNN.com, because you give so many heartbreaking specific examples of an 82-year-old woman who had pajamas with holes in them because she didn't want to spend money, but she didn't realize she'd given $350,000 to Republicans. Or another, a Taiwanese immigrant who gave $180,000 to Trump's campaign, didn't realize it. When she died, she had $250 in her savings account, and her family had to cover her funeral. It's just heartbreaking.
And again, these are not wealthy people. So that woman you just talked about, the Taiwanese immigrant, her kids were trying to figure out how they could put their money together to give her a proper funeral. And then they discovered that her mother had been planning to give that money to their kids for many years, but it just disappeared in the space of a year.
Kyung La, this is excellent reporting, excellent work done by CNN. We certainly appreciate your time today. Thank you for joining us and telling us about what's going on.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
That is CNN senior investigative correspondent Kyung La. And again, you can find this story on CNN.com. A number of reporters worked on this story, and it is very, very good reporting. And as she said, go to FEC, that's for the Federal Election Commission, fec.gov, and there are resources there if you think a family member, a parent, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, whatever, may have fallen victim to one of these things. Definitely go to fec.gov, and that will get you started in trying to get some of it back, hopefully. It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
I see clearly now, thanks to the doctors, Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry. You can too. Go to youridoc.com.
You can tell a lot about a person by the company they keep. Matt Williams, he's backed by the same people who brought you Defund the Police, Amnesty, and healthcare for illegal immigrants. They're with radical liberal Matt Williams because he's with them. And nothing's too extreme for Matt Williams. Defund the police, open borders, taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. That's Missouri's future if liberal Matt Williams and his radical friends have their way. But there's a better way. Army combat engineer Adam Schnelting. Adam Schnelting has a proven record of common sense leadership. He led the fight to deport criminal illegal immigrants. He cut our taxes, and he stands with our men and women in uniform. Adam Schnelting shares our values, and he'll always have our back. The choice is clear. Adam Schnelting for State Senate. Paid for by the Missouri Senate Campaign Committee.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Mira, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Natural disasters happen every year. Fires, hurricanes, tornadoes. And with that, your most important moments recorded on VHS, camcorder tapes, and 8mm could all be gone in an instant. Cherished moments like your wedding, baby's first steps, family trips to Yellowstone, lost. Enter Legacy Box. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box protects your irreplaceable memories from the threat of natural disaster by digitally preserving them onto thumb drive, DVD, or the cloud, so they're safe forever. Legacy Box is the safest and easiest way to preserve your past, which is why it's been trusted by over 1 million families. Send Legacy Box your home movies, photos, and film. Their team of trained professionals will do the rest right here in the U.S. For a limited time, Legacy Box is offering radio listeners an incredible 50% off. Go to legacybox.com/value and save 50% when you digitize your memories. That's legacybox.com/value.
KMOX, where every crack of the bat resonates with tradition, passion, and the spirit of Cardinals Nation.
How about those Doyers? They are, I almost said a bad word. They are blanking good, man. They've taken a
something else.
A 2-0 lead
Kind
in the
of
World
amazing.
Series against the Yankees. The series shifts back to New York, which, by the way, do you know what today is?
Oh, buddy, do I ever.
Well, it's a couple of things. It's an anniversary, But it's also another thing that all of us around the country are celebrating. Do you know what it is?
Oh, well, I know the anniversary.
Yes, which we're going to get to.
Yeah, it's the anniversary of something that's very special, not worthy
St.
of the
Louis.
Hall of Fame, but special.
That's correct. Remember how you got him removed from the Hall
I
of Fame?
didn't mean to.
You did. But it
No,
is
I have no idea.
Today is the only scheduled sports equinox of 2024. Do you know what a sports equinox
I don't know what
is?
that is. No.
It is when all four major sports are playing on the same day. So you've got NFL, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, all have a game today.
That's so exciting.
Right?
Let's get blitzed, James O'Sullivan.
Let's get blitzed.
That's what you do. We can turn on all the TVs and just go for it.
That's not what
what?
I mean, you can if you want.
Yeah.
But that's not what that means.
Oh. That's not what blitzed means?
Well, yeah, I know what blitzed means. You don't get blitzed. But just because there's a sports equinox doesn't mean you get blitzed.
But okay, at any rate, I think, listen.
It's the
we don't
only
have
one.
a football team.
No, we don't.
Our baseball team struggled this year. Our hockey team's okay. It's the beginning of the season. We need a reason to just really celebrate. Hey, here's one. Shohei Ohtani is going to play game 3. He had a partially dislocated shoulder.
I can't believe he's playing. That looks really bad. The way he was holding his shoulder as he was sliding into second base, he injured it. He put his left arm down to brace himself, and I guess it popped out. That's I can't believe he's playing. The way he came off the field and was holding that, I thought he was probably done for the rest of the series.
Yeah, I know. I did too. It looked so bad. I know everybody in LA just like their heart stopped.
Oh,
You're like,
yeah.
Please get up. Please get up. Please be okay. Yeah.
I mean, of course, if you win the World Series, which they are off to a great start, it lessens the sting quite a bit because you hope he's going to come back fully healthy in 2025. But there's always that danger that maybe he doesn't fully recover from a shoulder injury. The good thing for him, it's not his throwing arm.
Yeah.
So that should be okay. But man, I honestly cannot believe he's going to play.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if this is like, hey, here's our window. We do it now. You sacrifice everything to win this World Series. I mean, you don't want to hurt Shohei Ohtani the rest of his career since he's worth, what, $735 million?
And he's just started the contract.
Yeah, he just started. What do you think the advantage is? Let me take that back. What kind of disadvantage will the Dodgers face going into Yankee Stadium? Because right now, they look pretty decisively in control. I know it's home field. So do you think they lose some of that at Yankee Stadium? Because to me, it feels like no. To me, it feels like, wow, they're just going to run away with this.
Well, I mean, I guess I don't know how much I feel about or how strongly I feel about home field advantage when it comes to this.
Right.
Because if they take one of these games here, I think it's probably done. Even if they lose the next one or the one after, it's probably over. I don't know. But I really look, Yankee Stadium is a very difficult place to play. Those fans are loud.
Yeah.
And that might be it. If you shut them up early, they're going to have less of an effect. But I don't really worry so much about playing in other ballparks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's as big of a deal.
Because I want the Dodgers to win. But I kind of wanted it to go 7 games. I'd be a little bit bummed if this thing were over in 4 games.
Honestly, it's all I care about.
Yeah.
At this point, I just want it to go 7.
Interesting. I thought 6 was the most exciting.
It is. But that doesn't mean I don't want a 7th. It is. I love a game 6.
This guy loves a game 6.
Yeah, I think
it's weird. He thinks a game 6 is fundamentally, inherently more exciting than a game 7.
Because you don't know. You're not prepared.
Yeah, he said, because one team is going to go home.
It could be.
Maybe.
You don't know if that's going to be the last game of the year. It means so much. I love game 6.
Interesting.
It's either going to force a game 7 or the season's over.
I think that's what it is. There is a higher level of uncertainty.
Yes.
Less is on the line, but there's a higher level of uncertainty because you
It's
don't know
the
if the season
uncertainty.
is going to end. Whereas in Game 7, more is on the line, but you have the certainty of the season ending.
Speaking of Game 7, it is an anniversary. We are going to bring some of that back for you. I know you love hearing the highlights, and you'll get to hear them again before the show is over today because it is a huge anniversary for St. Louis. Amy Marks-Kors and Chris Ranji. When we come back, Matt Pauley will talk some sports with us next on KMOX.
If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, write this number down or put it into your phone, 800-211-4413. The IRS is hiring more staff and cracking down. Call Tax Relief Helpers now to learn about our tax debt reduction programs and how to stop the collection efforts. If you're facing liens, levies, an audit, wage garnishment, or years of unpaid taxes, even if you're already in a payment plan, we can help. Through special IRS programs, you may qualify to have your tax debt settled for a fraction of what you owe. Tax Relief Helpers has helped thousands of taxpayers qualify for these generous relief programs, earning an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. No matter what amount you or your business owe to the IRS, call our tax relief hotline now for a free consultation and see what savings you may qualify for. Don't tackle the IRS on your own and don't risk having your wages, Social Security, even your pension seized. Call now. Call 800-211-4413. That's 800-211-4413. 800-211-4413.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured, the choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
At 11:30, we've got clouds and 65 degrees downtown at the Arch. McDonald's says testing has ruled out beef patties as the source of the outbreak of E. coli poisoning tied to its Quarter Pounders. The company says it will resume selling Quarter Pounders at hundreds of affected restaurants in the coming week. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration continues to believe that slivered onions from a single supplier are the likely source of contamination. We've got road work on 44 going westbound at 141. That's got the left lane closed. They've cleared out some debris on 70 going east before Bryan Road. Weather is sponsored by Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Sell your home with trust, confidence, and written guarantees. Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty is St. Louis's real estate expert. Visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Partly cloudy this afternoon, high about 80. For tonight, low 67. For tomorrow, high of 83, close to the record of 86 set in just 2016. Right now, 65 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are ignoring kitchen table issues. Liberals are fighting to defund the police, indoctrinate kids, open the border, and put boys in girls' sports. I'm Ann Wagner. The people I talk to know better. Let's work for what matters most. Lower costs, parents' rights, and safer streets.
Ann Wagner is working for common sense solutions to the problems you face. She's challenged the big government machine in Washington and delivered a tax cut for middle-class families. Ann has stood with parents to defend their right to make decisions on the upbringing, education, and care of their children, protecting our kids from radical leftist indoctrination. And as crime rises, Ann has worked to protect our safety by fighting efforts to defund our brave police.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message. So pull up a chair, and together we'll turn the tables on Washington.
Fighting for your family. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Three Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
It's warm now, but winter will be here before you know it. That's why Banner Construction is having their pre-winter window event. Choose from Banner's various energy-efficient brands and window price points featuring beautiful Pella windows. Banner is a certified Pella contractor and preferred James Hardie specialist. If you've been considering new windows or a fresh new exterior for your home, see Banner's work at bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050 and have a Banner day. Hey, everyone. Dr. Colleen Bosler of the Audiology Center has a special invitation for everyone listening to this program. Doctor?
The holidays are approaching quickly, and some of you may remember struggling to hear when you were with family and friends last year. We want to make the holidays more enjoyable for you this year by providing you with the gift of hearing. We're hosting our annual Here for the Holidays promotion October 29th and 30th. and we will have lots to offer. Free hearing screenings, free earwax removal, free video otoscopy, and free demonstrations of the latest hearing aid technology. And finally, $700 off a new set of hearing aids.
Thank you, Doctor. That's an incredible offer. Folks, the Hearing for the Holidays promotion, October 29th and 30th at all 3 Audiology Center locations. Reservations are recommended. 636-441-7470, the Audiology Center, STL.com.
Bernie Nicholas joins the Chris and Amy Show, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11:35 on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Time for some sports, and it's brought to you by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family-owned and top-rated Renner Door, STL.com. It is the Chris and Amy Show. As we discussed during the last segment, the World Series is ongoing, and the Dodgers have taken a commanding lead in that World Series, up 2-0. They will play tonight in New York. Time to go to the Quiver River Electric guest line. Our sports fella, host of the Sports Open Line show from 6 to 8 o'clock on weeknights when the Cardinals aren't playing or there isn't football. Matt Pauley is with us on KMOX. What's up, Matt?
Not much. How are you guys doing?
Are you enjoying this series?
Yeah. The first game was amazing. The way that finished with the the Yankees taking the lead, and then the Dodgers getting obviously the walk-off grand slam there from Freddie Freeman. That was something. And then even the second game, I thought it was interesting. It got kind of interesting late for sure. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think the games have been good so far.
So a 2-0 lead for the Dodgers. And Amy asked the question, how big of a deal is it to have to go into Yankee Stadium tonight for them?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. You said commanding lead. I think I'd wait to use commanding till what happens tonight, because the Yankees...
They're in command.
The Dodgers are in command?
Yeah, right now.
Okay. All right. Fine.
I felt like it was a commanding lead because of the way they've won, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I think it's still a series. I guess that's the point I'm making. I think it's still a series, and I want to see what happens with the game shifting to New York. Now, if the Dodgers win tonight, at that point, the series is essentially over.
Well, I think we're all on the same page on that one. In terms of pitching, that was kind of the thing going into the series, that I think a lot of people thought if the Dodgers had a problem, it would be on the pitching side, the starting pitching side, but that has not really been a problem for them in the series yet.
No, it's been pretty good. You're not getting really deep pitching performances, but you never get that in the postseason. Jack Flaherty was pretty darn good there in the first game. He pitched into the 6th inning, and we could argue whether or not he should have come out in that moment. Second game of the series, obviously Yamamoto was fantastic pitching into the 7th inning. That was a really, really good performance from him, and that allowed the Dodgers to use their bullpen a little bit more the way they would like to use it, for sure. But yeah, and on the other side of things, I mean, Carlos Rodon wasn't very good in game number 1 of the series, but Garrett Cole was fine in game number 1. So I think for the most part, we should see good pitching. These are the 2 best teams in baseball playing in the World Series. You would hope you would see some good pitching.
Will you be surprised if Shohei Ohtani does indeed play Game 3? I believe he is expected to play Game 3. And you think a mild shoulder dislocation will upset his play at all?
If he can play, he will play. He does not have to be 100% to be in there. He's one of, if not the greatest player walking the face of the earth right now. So they will do anything to get him ready. Now, could he be somewhat compromised, and could it impact his ability to, say, drive the ball? Yeah, I think that's legitimate.
It's his back shoulder.
Yeah. So that could impact his ability to drive the ball. But if it's 70% of Shohei Ohtani or 80% of Shohei Ohtani, that's still going to be better than whoever else you put in the lineup in his place.
So there were some numbers that came out about the World Series, and I saw them after Game 1. I did not look at Game 2's numbers, or I have not seen them posted. But the ratings, as you would imagine, with a Dodgers-Yankees World Series, the numbers are extraordinary with how much they are up, something like 60% from last year. And among younger people, it's over 90% better than last year. They've had a lot of young people tune into this series. Does it mean anything greater, Matt, or is this just because it's Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, Yankees, Dodgers?
Yeah, I don't Yankees, Dodgers, yes, because you're getting those two markets, and those are the two largest markets. So you're going to have an uptick in ratings because a lot of people in those cities are watching the games. But those are still just two markets, and there's still World Series ratings are still up across the board across the United States. I think what it is there's a lot of stars, and Major League Baseball does not do a very good job of marketing their stars. But of the few stars in baseball that people actually know who they are, they're playing in this series. People know who Shohei Ohtani is. People know who Mookie Betts is. People know who Aaron Judge is. I think people know who Juan Soto is. These are guys that have been able to kind of break through baseball's inability to promote their star players. And it just goes to show you that people still love baseball, and people still love seeing the greatest of the great do their thing. So, the ratings last year for Rangers, Diamondbacks, those are, Phoenix is not the largest market in the world and everything. And from a star standpoint, they didn't equal what you have in this series. So I'm happy for baseball. I'm happy that TV ratings are up. I want these games to be fantastic because I want people to really enjoy what they're watching and them to continue to watch moving forward.
I want to address something that you mentioned about baseball and not doing a very good job of promoting its stars in terms of marketing, and that's a thing that's been said a lot over the last several years. I've always questioned that because I'm not sure there's much more they really could do because of the regional nature of the sport. I don't. What can baseball do, in your opinion, to promote its stars better? I don't know if there's anything really.
I think you utilize your TV partners in ways that you really get the stars and get people with good personalities out there more. And then all of a sudden, if you do that, if you find a way to put your star players on in more of a spotlight, and to your point, and it's a good point, Ronj, because the regional nature of baseball, there's not as many national opportunities the way that you have in football, say, where every game is on national TV. But you still have opportunities to get your players out there. You do that more, and then all of a sudden it's going to be kind of a trickle down effect where we're going to see these guys in more commercials and doing funny things. Like there's ways to do it. Is it easy? No, it's not easy, but there are ways. Utilizing social media is another thing that baseball can use to get guys out there. Finding ways to use video channels on social media, things like that. So I think it's not something that, like, right now they're waking up and saying, you know what, today we're not going to promote our stars. Like I don't think that they're sitting here purposely doing this, but I think on the other side of it, they can take some actions. It would be maybe some outside the box thinking, some creative thinking, but I think there are some things that baseball can and should do to be able to get the stars more into a spotlight.
Well, Matt, the Chiefs beat the Raiders 27-20. They remain perfect. They won at Arrowhead West, otherwise known as Allegiant Stadium, which means that Chiefs coach Andy Reid now has as many wins in the Raiders venue as any Raiders coach does. So I think the Chiefs have done a pretty good job at planting their flag on that field.
Yeah, look, the Raiders aren't very good. That's the first thing. But the Chiefs, the last time they had matched up against the Raiders, it did not go especially well. Any given Sunday, that whole thing. I mean, the Browns beat the Ravens this weekend, so anybody can beat anybody on any weekend. That was a tight game, one touchdown game. But Kansas City just is finding a way to win on an every week basis, and it's fun to watch them. And they've got DeAndre Hopkins now. We'll see as he more assimilates into the offense, if he's able to become more of an impact type player. His impact was very limited in that game, but it was good to see Travis Kelce. Kelce has had a very quiet year. He was open all day long. He had 10 receptions on 12 targets, had 90 yards, had touchdowns, a touchdown. So that was a good day for Kelce.
And that defense is like the MVP of the season. The Chiefs' defense has been insane.
Yes, it has been. And Steve Spagnuolo deserves a whole lot of credit. I would make the argument, because Andy Reid oversees the offense and Steve Spagnuolo oversees the defense. I would make the argument that the combination of Reid and Spagnuolo overseeing those two groups is the best pair of figureheads in the NFL overseeing a respective offense and a respective defense.
Matt, the Missouri Tigers, it did not go
Ooh.
especially well for them over the weekend. Same thing for Illinois. Did not go especially well for them either. Both of them playing pretty good teams.
Really good teams, especially Illinois, now matched up against the number one team in the nation. I think you can feel a little bit better about yourself if you're Illinois than you're Missouri, because unfortunately for Mizzou, even if they don't lose another game this year, I think their chances of getting into the college football playoff are they're just not there. I mean, this is a team that when the season got started, if you would have said, hey, Missouri goes 10-2 in the regular season, I would have said, okay, that's enough for them to be in the expanded college football playoff. And now you look at them, they've played two ranked SEC teams, and they've been blown out by each of them, Texas A&M and Alabama. Admittedly, those games have been on the road. They haven't been at home, but they don't have another ranked team on the schedule this year. They still have a tough game on the road against South Carolina left. The status of Brady Cook very much up in the air after he had to leave the game again due to injury this past weekend. So this is they're barely still in the top 25. A lot of people thought that they would get bounced from the top 25 after this loss to Alabama. They don't. They just barely stay in both polls. But certainly disappointing the way the two losses have gone. And unfortunately, it feels like those two losses are going to kind of be the headline of this Mizzou football season.
And the Blues, a bummer of a loss in Montreal. Claude Julien returning as the Blues assistant coach after he had been a coach in Montreal. The Blues came back from a 2-0 deficit earlier in the game, which is great. They've shown the ability to come back, very important with teams and having character within the roster, but ultimately lose 5-2.
Yeah, and you look at these two games that they've played on this Canadian road trip, and they'll finish in Philadelphia, which obviously is not Canadian city, but this 4-game road trip, mostly Canadian. That win against the Maple Leafs, arguably their best win of the year, their best performance of the year, and then they follow that up, giving up 5 goals to Montreal. And I think I hope this isn't true, but I think in many ways this is going to kind of be the story of the season, where you're going to feel really, really good about this team some nights, and you're not going to feel so good about them on some other nights. So these long road trips, 4-game road trips, they're tough, and that's the way it goes. So we can see how good they can play when they beat teams like Toronto, and then we can see some of these losses that they've had this year have been pretty disappointing at the same time.
Are you excited about the Seoul Sports Equinox of 2024 tonight?
Oh, when we get all four, this is the only time that so there's not an opportunity for that to happen. Is there not baseball on Thursday?
No, if there is a rain out and a game is rescheduled for Thursday or Sunday, there could be. But as of right now, this is the only one on the schedule for the year.
So good.
I love it.
Love it. Yeah.
Because it didn't used to happen. I think the first time it happened was in the 70s, but normally it does not happen every year. But because the World Series has been going later and later every year, now there have been since 2015 a bunch of these sports equinoxes. Or is it equini?
I think it's equini.
Is it?
Equini sounds better.
I think it does.
I don't think it is.
Anyway, it's probably not even a word. But I do know this. It is happening tonight. So you've got Monday Night Football. You have Game 3 of the World Series. Bunch of hockey games tonight. Bunch of NBA games tonight. Enjoy it all. Sports Open Line?
Yes. Tonight, 6 to 8. We'll, everything that we've talked about here, we'll be talking about tonight.
But with a new spin that you don't want to miss.
Yeah, you're not going to say the same stuff.
Yeah.
No, but I'm gonna say everything opposite. Like, remember what I said 6 hours ago? None of that was true. I was lying to Chris and Amy.
Oh, man. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Yeah.
Always tell the truth, Matt.
That's what I tend to do.
Sports Open Line tonight on KMOX from 6 until 8 o'clock. Only place in the evenings you can get live sports talk is right here on KMOX. Local sports talk.
That's right.
Bye, Matt.
Bye.
Yo, Paulie, your sister's with me. I'll call you back later. See ya.
Matt Pauley. Follow him on Twitter at Matt Pauley on air.
And hang with us because when we come back, oh, buddy.
We'll tell you who won the no prize pick'em and how it happened and who the biggest loser of the weekend was.
Guess who?
The Bears, but otherwise.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
I had heard about 3-day kitchen and bath. I kind of always dismissed it thinking, well, nobody can do that in 3 days. I wanted somebody who was going to come when they said they would come and, do what they said they were going to do. What I liked best was having it done in, less than a week, the whole thing from top to bottom. Nobody could believe that I really had it done that fast. They absolutely held up to every single thing that they agreed to. I especially loved the fact that I didn't have to go out all over town. The overall quality was very good. All the workmanship was so excellent. They'll definitely do exactly what they say they're going to do. There's no surprises, no added costs later. They stay until everything's exactly the way you want it, and you're done.
Thanks, Lori. Check us out online at 3daykitchen.com.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
The days are getting shorter, but the lights couldn't be brighter. This time of year, baseball is different, and the whole world is watching. All of the clutch hits, the game-saving grabs, the plays at the plate, and the head-first slides under the tag. That's peak baseball. Experience all of the autumn action. It's postseason season. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Missouri's judicial system gives voters the final say in retaining their judges. So know your judges before you vote November 5th. Visit yourmissouriJudges.org. That's yourmissouriJudges.org.
Paid for by the Missouri Bar, Misha Epps, Executive Director.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. The director of Siteman Cancer Center, Dr. Tim Eberlein.
The new building is going to be focused on clinical care and accrual to clinical trials, and it'll integrate radiology evaluation of patients.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold for Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW, a family-owned dealership group that has been around for 50 years as a Toyota dealer and 25 years in O'Fallon, Illinois. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best, Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Maholtra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Barry. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
I'm Kevin Wheeler. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Comes down to one last play, and it's going to be getting longer by the second. You're all the way back at the 30-yard line. Now you can step into it. Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball is caught! Caught! It's a miracle! It's Noah Brown!
What an absolute disaster. Just a blanking disaster. I'm not one of these people who says, fire this guy. This guy should be fired. I was on a roll. Yeah, fired everybody. Everybody. Fire them all.
So many bad words.
I said less. Oh, dude, I tweeted so many bad words yesterday.
He tweeted at Andrea Mitchell, the NBC Chief Washington correspondent.
Okay. Andrea Mitchell, Washington correspondent for NBC News. She tweeted after the Washington Commanders beat the Bears in a last-second Hail Mary. She tweeted, "Wow, Daniels!" And I said, "Yeah, Andrea, it was Jane and Daniels and not the dumb blanking Bears." I tweeted at Andrea Mitchell.
That is like Nora O'Donnell being like, "Go
God.
team," and Ron just goes after Nora O'Donnell.
I've never seen anything like it.
It was
Just
amazing. I mean,
stupid football team.
So
Stupid football team.
we were watching all the games, and the Bears game, and it ends like that. And it was long story, but it was our dog's birthday party, so we were at my parents' house. And I'm like, Dad, get in here. My brother-in-law was in there, my brother, and yeah, we saw the end of the game, and I grabbed my phone, and I was going to text Ranj.
Yeah.
And then I thought...
You thought better of it.
I did. I just, honest to goodness, I thought I've got a text, and I had like snarky and like funny, and I mean, just, should I do a GIF? All of these different things. And I restrained that response, which would be to text Chris Ranji directly, and instead... I hopped on over to @ChrisRanji on Twitter,
dude,
knowing that would be an
God.
absolute delight and a circus, and it was. And I sat on the couch and died.
I'm
It
glad.
was
I'm
so
happy.
funny.
And you know how the show started today? The very first text message into the show at 314-436-7900 was, "How about those Bears?" People are jerks. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it yesterday.
I literally died, and I was like, he just hate tweeted at Andrea Mitchell.
I did. I wonder if she saw it like, what? Calm down, guy.
My gosh.
Anyway, congratulations to listener Drew, who participated in our no prize pick'em. The only game he got wrong was that one. The only game he missed was the Bears game. Otherwise, he was perfect. So Drew gets to return to the no prize pick'em challenge on Friday. So congratulations to Drew. The rest of Alexa Dat came in last. Amy and I tied for second place. So great job, Drew. We will talk to you on Friday, unless he stiffs us. Unless he says, I don't want to play with you losers anymore.
No, he's gonna love it, because honestly, he should have had a perfect slate. But you know what the Bears did? I don't know. You remember?
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm moving past it. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. Early voting is happening, and a lot of people are coming out to do it. How about you? Let us know. Drop us a voice message on the Odyssey app. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji, KMOX.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler for 213 Flashpoint Complex, which is available at Supplement Superstores. It'll help take you to the next level like it has for me. I've been going for a couple of months now, and it is doing everything and more that I wanted to, boosting the metabolism during the daytime, fighting cravings, giving me all day focused energy with no crash. And at night, you get to burn fat by lowering cortisol levels, get some boosted recovery, get a good restful night's sleep, all the things you need to reach your goals. 213 Flashpoint Complex is available at Supplement Superstores. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I love this song! I love nachos.
Loving everything? You might be buzzed.
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Right now, 38 states allow for sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 professional soccer teams, the KC Current and St. Louis City. These days, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on much, but the Republican and Democratic candidates for governor are both supporting Amendment 2 because it means more money for education. Amendment 2 isn't like the lottery. There's a strong constitutional guarantee. The new money from sports betting will go to our schools. $100 million for education without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Vote yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
It is 12 o'clock in mid-America. We've got some clouds. It is 69 degrees downtown at the Arch. This news update is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. A fire on South 13th Street in Belleville claims the lives of 3 people.
This is Stuart McMillan. I'm in Belleville at the fatal house fire. Chief Stephanie Mills with Belleville Fire and Rescue confirming with me that there are 3 adult males that have perished from this morning's fire. And they are getting ready to pull the 3rd body out right now of the 2nd floor window. It's too dangerous to go up the stairs because the intensity of the fire charred the inside of the house just too much to make it unsafe to go upstairs.
President Biden has cast his ballot.
This is Stuart McMillan. I'm in Belleville.
The president greeted voters in line outside the Department of Elections office in Newcastle, Delaware, and then waited in line himself until it was his turn. He presented his ID and signed his early ballot.
Mr. Biden now voting.
And the president then went into the booth to cast his vote. He was greeted by applause as he finished and walked out. And when asked if he thinks Vice President Harris will win, he responded, Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
McDonald's says it will start selling quarter pounders again in the coming week after an outbreak of E. coli poisoning.
The president greeted voters.
McDonald's says testing ruled out beef patties as the source of an E. coli outbreak tied to the Quarter Pounder. One person was killed and at least 75 others in 13 states were sickened. 22 of them had to be hospitalized. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration believes that slivered onions from a single supplier are the likely source of the contamination. McDonald's says when it resumes selling the Quarter Pounder this week, it will be without the slivered onions. I'm Donna Warder.
Her wish came true. Now a teenager who wants to wish it forward will get more good news.
The St. Louis Blues gave then 11-year-old Layla the hope she needed while suffering from a rare disease. Now, the Make-A-Wish recipient is 16 and wants to wish it forward. This afternoon, Layla will find out her wish to bring 5 friends from Children's Hospital to a Blues game is happening. Colton Pareko and Louie will help break the news. Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The KMOX Business Desk, a Midwestern medicine company, goes overseas.
Eli Lilly gets the okay to launch its blockbuster weight loss drug in Hong Kong. The company has gotten approval to launch Mounjaro and a device called QuickPen for both long-term weight management and type 2 diabetes. The drug could be the first of its kind available in the China region. Lilly Shot has already been approved for weight loss and diabetes in mainland China, but it's not clear when the company plans to launch the product in the country. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's up 281 points, and they've just cleared some road work on 55 going north at 141, also 44 going west at 141, and a stalled vehicle cleared out on 44 going west at Antire.
Breezy and warmer this afternoon, partly sunny skies and highs right around 80 after a breezy evening, remaining warm with patchy clouds and a low of 67 tonight. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. We've got clouds and 69. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
My best friend Jenny came over for coffee, said it's cold enough in here to play hockey. Well, my furnace broken, it's already late. Call Jerry Kelly because they're open till 8. JerryKelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. Jerry Kelly.
The Chris and Amy Show, sponsored by St. Louis University Billikens Basketball. Choose your seats for 5 or more games and receive savings off the single game ticket price with a 5-game mini pack starting at $75. Purchase now at slubillikens.com.
Good morning, Chris and Amy. Range, your Chicago Bears blew it yesterday. That was terrible. I don't know how you can root for the Bears. That's crazy, man. Talk to you.
It's okay, man. He'll be okay.
Yeah, Tim from St. Charles.
Tim
I don't
sounded,
need that from you.
Tim sounded pretty down.
I just think he was, maybe he felt bad for me.
He felt despondent and hopeless.
Appreciate the voice message
you,
on
Tim.
the Odyssey app, AUDACY, where you can listen to the show live. It sounds great on the Odyssey app, by the way. So listen to us there, and you can send us a voice message by hitting that mic button and recording your thing, and then you know how it goes. We love to hear from you.
We do
on the show.
And earlier in the show, we were talking about Ranja's bad weekend, but my great patriotic weekend.
You did a really patriotic thing.
I was so excited to vote, and we've been talking about the lines, right? Pretty long, sometimes hours long. I know the several locations nearest to me, when you would go to the St. Louis County Board of Elections, you can look at the satellite polling places and check the length of the lines. And they were all pretty long, like 260 people in line, 380, which is an hours long wait. The best kept secret in St. Louis County is the Lewis and Clark Library branch in Moline Acres. No line. They are just pleasant and happy. It's a beautiful library with lots of windows. The sun is streaming in. They will greet you. Hello, are you here to vote? Why, yes, I am. Oh, come over here. Oh, thank you so much. And that's what I did, and I was excited. Thank you to all the poll workers at the Lewis and Clark Library branch. They were awesome. I have suggested to many friends and families, go head on over to Moline Acres, the beautiful Lewis and Clark Library.
Wherever you are voting, whatever state you happen to be listening in, probably Missouri or Illinois, but it could be somewhere else. If you are somewhere else, and it happens to be a swing state, where those poll workers have been facing a lot of crap from people. Don't give poll workers crap. They're just trying to do a job, and many of them are just happy to be there. And I said this earlier, Amy, anytime I voted, I cannot recall in my lifetime, anytime I've gone to a poll where the people are not friendly and trying to be helpful. So just be nice to your poll workers. Also, this text message from Bob, who says North County Recreation Complex on Redmond Road, also no wait. Said he parked 50 feet from the door, 15 minutes from arrival to departure. So,
excellent.
And a lot of that is actually going through the ballot, which we had a comment last week, and I think it was on our YouTube page or Facebook, and you can watch us live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We're on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX. But somebody said those squares that you fill in need to be a lot smaller because there's a lot to fill in.
The little circles. And I will say this, have your sample ballot. You can take it with you, or, if you just know what you're going to do, how you're going to vote. I went through my sample ballot 100%, especially
highly recommend it.
Oh my gosh, I recommend it because you think, well, Amendment 2, Amendment 3, I got this. Well, there's 5, 6, and 7. Plus in the county, it's different, right? If you're in St. Charles County, Franklin County, the city, I get it. But in St. Louis County, there are multiple propositions you have to vote for or against. And then in the county, there are also 24 judges. I think you said in the city, it's like 20 something. But honest to goodness, I'm not even joking. I got a hand cramp voting for the judges. And I had to how you hold your hand up and shake your wrist and you're like, get the blood flowing. I had to do that twice. I got a hand cramp voting for the judges. 24 judges circles in St. Louis County.
Make sure there are a lot in the city too. Because I know on the sample ballot, there are a lot. There are the couple Supreme Court justices, the Missouri Supreme Court, and then there are multiple city justices.
Voted downtown this morning at the Board of Election Commissioners. No lines, no waiting, very cordial staff. I agree with Amy, though, about the writer's cramp. It's a long ballot. I was surprised there's no electronic voting. Maybe it's not allowed on absentee, but anyway, it was a great experience.
Yeah,
awesome.
But that's good.
Yeah.
And I hope that, so again, we went through the numbers earlier about the amount of people who have, and this was as of this morning, there were close to 80,000 people in the county who had voted since last Tuesday, over 18,000 in the city, and over 20,000 in St. Charles County. So we're talking about over 100,000 people.
Yeah.
That was as of this morning who had come in to vote. That's a good deal of people, and you have a week to do it. The early voting ends a week from today.
And according to the University of Florida Election Lab, as of yesterday afternoon, over 41 million Americans voted early.
That is a lot.
That's in that first week. So there were 65 million mail-in ballots requested. Of those, about 21 million have been returned. And then you add that with the over 20 million people who have cast early in-person votes. You get 41 million early voters. Very exciting. I think if it works out for you to go ahead and do it, I know I have some family voting tomorrow. I think they were going to do it early this week, just to relieve the pressure from November 5th, from Election Day, or maybe if you're afraid, the lines are what they are on November 5th. That's your last chance. So you have to stick out a long line. If you have some more options with going to a satellite location without a long line, I'm sure the city has this in the St. Louis County. You go to the St. Louis County Election Board website, and there's a link which will tell you how long the waits are, or at least how many people are in line.
And that number of 41 million is huge because 155 million people voted for president in 2020. Wow. So we're almost a third of that. That's I mean, not quite, but it's close, that's a great number. So hopefully it does for people who have to wait or are going to wait for Election Day. Hopefully this alleviates a little bit of that wait time.
And as Hancock and Kelly, I love their Sunday morning show with Andy Banker on Fox 2. And I was watching them this past Sunday. And of course, Hancock and Kelly said what everybody knows, that it is a turnout election. At this point, you're not changing anybody's minds, not in significant numbers. You're not persuading voters. What you are doing is you're motivating your base to go vote. That's why you have these celebrity endorsements. That's why you're seeing candidates go on podcasts and television shows because you're trying to persuade, to motivate your base. And John Hancock did say he thinks if the turnout numbers are lower, that would, you know, uh, behoove the Trump campaign. But if turnout numbers are higher, he thinks that could lead more toward a Harris victory.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much the case
Mhm.
historically anyway, right?
Yeah.
The higher the turnout, usually that leans Democratic.
Yeah, I think so, but and I know that the electorate is changing, right? It's not the same that it was 40, 50 years ago, but it's so far every poll that I'm seeing just very close. Like I don't know what to expect. And people ask me like, "Amy, you're in the news business. You watch this all the time and read up. What do you think?" Nobody knows.
So we talked about the Madison Square Garden rally that former President Trump had yesterday, and we started with this bit of sound. This is Tony Hinchcliffe, who is a comedian. He's got that podcast that's really popular. They feature a bunch of comedians on it. It's called Kill Tony. I'm sure you have, if you are on YouTube at all, you have probably seen clips from it or Instagram. He's out there a lot, and he has a lot of different comedians. Joe Rogan's on all the time. Shane Gillis is on all the time, and they feature a bunch of people. But he spoke at the rally, and he made this comment.
A lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
So that's what he had to say, and he's taken a lot of heat from it. The Trump campaign, one of their spokespeople had to come out last night and felt they needed to say that is not a comment that is reflective of the campaign. We don't condone it. I mean, clearly he was vetted to be on, to be part of the show. They say that he did not give them that joke ahead of time, that it was Scott Jennings on CNN, a Republican, who said that what he was hearing is that Tony had freelanced that joke. And so it's created a lot of problems for them over the last 24 hours.
And also, the comedian also made jokes that made fun of Black Americans and stereotypes within the Black community. He also made jokes about the Jewish community, and he also made light of very serious conflicts that will affect the future of the United States, the future of Europe, the Middle East. He said, Ukraine versus Russia, Israel versus Pal. It's like bad soccer games. Who even cares? We're all thinking the same thing, settle your stuff already. And then he made a joke about Palestinians throwing rocks and made a joke about Jewish people not being able to throw paper, and was like making anti-Semitic jokes. He pointed out to a someone in the crowd, I guess it was a Black person in the crowd, and made a joke about, I don't even want to say like just about what they were doing the previous night. And it was offensive. Like if the National Review says, if you're going to be the president of America, you should probably want to be president for all Americans and not make fun of Puerto Ricans, Black Americans, and Jewish Americans.
Look, a comedian, I lean more on the side of allow comedians to say whatever they want, even if it's controversial or stupid or racist. Hey, say whatever you want. You're a comedian, right? You have the right to do that in a comedian setting. That was a rally for a guy running for president. I don't think that was the place for it. And he's rightfully taken a lot of heat. And he tweeted that people can't take a joke. It's not that, dude. It's the environment you're speaking. You're speaking to people you need to appeal to, because we have an election coming up. This is not you at the Funny Bone. This is not you on stage at Stiefel Theater. This is a political rally. It is completely different. Also, Amy, we were going to bring this earlier. We didn't get around to it, but the former president had made this comment, which has created a lot of confusion since it happened yesterday.
And I think with our little secret, we're going to do really well with the House, right? Our little secret is having a big impact. He and I have a secret. We'll tell you what it is when the race is over.
So he's talking about the House. We have a secret with the House, is what he says. And Representative Dan Goldman, and you can take this for what it's worth, he is a representative out of New York, happens to be a Democrat. And he said that he is talking about Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House. And Goldman says that he believes the little secret is a plan with Johnson, that if he loses, he tries to go to the House to throw out the Electoral College and have the House under Mike Johnson overturn the election. That's what the representative out of New York is saying. I don't know if that's really the case, but I will say I don't like the idea of a candidate using vague language to talk about a thing that they might do. And I've got this secret. Oh, we'll tell you what it is. I don't care for that. If you have a plan on something, whatever that plan is, tell us what it is. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, should they not be explicit when they talk? Don't leave it to interpretation.
well, I mean, and that's what Trump does is he's somehow it's kind of like the Supreme Court's, definition of porn. Like you don't know it's hard to define porn, but you know it when you see it. Sometimes Trump is really good at saying something that is just amoebic enough or just tangential enough that once people call him out for being conspiratorial or insurrectionist or racist or whatever it may be, he can say, well, I didn't really mean that. And you kind of parse it. He does that. That's what he does. I mean, and again, sometimes he says straight up racist things, like when he was talking about the immigrants poisoning the blood of America or looking into genes and all that type of thing. But with this type of comment regarding the election and our big secret, it's hard. It's like nailing Jello to a wall, even though we all know something's not right about that.
That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. When we come back, we need to talk about this Monopoly game. There is a new St. Louis Monopoly game that is out. We have seen it. We have a copy. Is copy the right word? We have the item, and I have questions. We have questions about it. We'll get to them when we come back on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Is your car still under warranty? No, not anymore. My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs? Ox gets it fixed? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote, 800-221-6319. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-221-6319. 800-221-6319 or go to oxcarcare.com.
The American Cancer Society calls upon Black women from all walks of life to join Voices of Black Women, a groundbreaking research study led by the American Cancer Society. Voices of Black Women is designed to better understand why and how cancer and other health conditions impact Black women. Go to voices.cancer.org.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535, 800-511-3535, or biglou.com.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Drury Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Lance Drury Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Drury, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
From city lights to neighborhood stories, KMOX's local newsroom keeps you informed. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
3-2 delivery on its way. Swing and a high drive to center field. Get up, baby. Get up, baby. Get up. Oh, yeah. David Freese has just sent us into game number 7. This series is tied 3-3 with a walk-off home run here in the bottom of the 11th inning. The Cardinals win it 10-9. Unbelievable.
Well, that was, Amy.
Yes.
2006. That was, yesterday was the anniversary of that. So 18 years ago. David Freese.
That was 2011.
Oh, 2011, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I was like
Thinking
really
06,
thrown
yeah.
off.
2011.
2011, yeah.
So that was 13 years ago. No. Dude, yeah, 13. I can't add.
Why would you start the
I
segment
don't know,
with
man.
math?
Bro, you know I can't do that. You know I can't do math. So, yeah, what a memory that was. And then today is the anniversary of Game 7, the last time the Cardinals won the World Series. And as you can imagine, it is, it doesn't. Does it seem like a long time? Because part of it feels like it just happened yesterday, but also when you put the number 13 in front of it, then it feels like it was forever ago.
So here's exactly how I feel, and I didn't pinpoint it until recently. So for most of the years leading up to today, from most of the years between that moment and now, it felt like yesterday. Cardinals are good. Cardinals are amazing. And then, Molina, Wainwright, retire, Pujols comes back, retires, all of that. And it's kind of distracting, and you're like, oh man, remember 2011? It felt kind of far away, but you still thought that was our connection to 2011.
Yeah.
Adam Wainwright's still playing. It's not that far. It's not that long ago. But then when those guys retired and the Cardinals were awful for the last 2 years, 2011 feels like 150 billion years ago. It went from feeling like yesterday to 150 billion years ago because no one's on the team anymore. You had that tie.
I can see that, yeah.
They were kind of competitive. Remember, 12. They went to the playoffs a couple of years ago or a few years ago. And so a little bit of competitiveness plus that Wainwright tie and Molina's there. Yeah, It was not that long ago, but now it may as well be, the middle ages.
There was
Middle ages? Medieval ages.
Yeah, there
Medieval times. What's the phrase?
medieval times.
Medieval times.
There is a school of thought which I adopted, and Bill Simmons, who was a longtime sports guy. I got it from him,
Mhm.
and I like it. He's one of the few things about Bill I kind of like, and I thought this was a good thought. He said, if your team has won a championship,
Mhm.
there's a 5-year grace period where you are not allowed to complain about them
That's
at
good.
all. Well, we've been almost 3 times past that, right?
Mhm.
So 13 years. So now I guess we can complain about the Cardinals if we
We
want,
absolutely can.
according to that philosophy.
Meanwhile, Peter Jar is 11 years old, Mason Jar's son, and he doesn't remember a Super Bowl without the Chiefs in it.
Yeah. Okay. So Chiefs, I never want to hear from Chiefs fans ever again. Just shut up. So if you win 2 in a row, so that it's now 10 years.
Yeah.
You can't complain for 10 years. If they go three-peat, you can't complain for 15 years. I think they stack on each other.
That's fair.
And also Boston sports fans.
Oh,
if
give
you're
me
like
a
30
break.
years old as a Boston sports
Get
fan,
out of
your
town.
entire life.
Yeah.
Your entire life, you've known nothing but championships.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear from them.
I don't
ever.
want to hear ever from them.
You just won an NBA title.
Yeah.
Stupid Boston.
I wish it weren't such a cool city.
It is a very cool.
It
Closes a little too early for me, but it's a cool city.
It closes a little early for me, which is saying something.
That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. Let's talk about that Monopoly game. We teased it a moment ago. There is a St. Louis Monopoly, and Amy has a huge problem with it.
Multiple huge problems.
Chris and Amy on KMOX.
0-1 delivery. Here she comes. Swinging a high drive into left. Back goes to Craig. He's at the track. He has it. And the Cardinals are world champion for 2011.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do
Let's play something, Grandma.
became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Well, at 12:30 right now, after President Biden voted in Delaware, he was asked about the comments made at Donald Trump's rally in New York.
It's simply embarrassing. It's beneath any president, but that's what we're getting used to. That's why this election is so important. You know, most of presidential scholars I've spoken to talk about the single most consequential thing about a president's character. Character. And he puts that in question every time he opens it.
DesignAirService.com, St. Louis leading air conditioning and repair service, sponsors the weather. High today of 80, low tonight 67, right now 71. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Design Air, the customer is most important. From emergency repair to HVAC maintenance, high-efficiency furnaces, or an air conditioner installation, get great service from DesignAirService.com.
If you're planning to sell and also buy a home in the near future, I know it can be stressful. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty knows selling and buying your next home at the same time can be tricky, especially in our area. This is Debbie Monterey, and if you need to sell and buy at the same time, this message is for you. Gloria Liu has several great options for her home sellers, including her Sell and Stay program that gets you the most money possible for your current home and then allows you to stay put until you find your next home. No more stress, worries, or hassles or settling. Gloria Liu makes selling your St. Louis area home easy, and she's been doing this for more than 21 years. So why risk working with an average realtor when you can work with the best best. The name to remember is Gloria Lou of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW. I am so confident that my team will take care of every one of your service and sales needs. I'll give you my cell phone, 618-791-5470. Newbold Toyota or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
Podcast The Bernie Minkler Show today on the free Odyssey app and follow to receive Bernie's daily take on Cardinals, Blues, or whatever else is in the news. AUDACY.
Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji on KMOX. So we've been recognized. We've been acknowledged, Amy. We have been acknowledged by the people who make Monopoly, the game.
Oh.
You know, the board game.
Oh, I remember because Mr. Moneybags, Rich Uncle Pennybags, I should say, he showed up here.
He was in studio.
He was in studio
several months ago.
He was, and we visited with him. We
Yeah.
took our picture with him.
We did.
And he stinks.
What do you mean he stinks?
He sold us out. Listen,
Hasbro sold us out, or
Yes.
Mr. Pennybags?
Mr. Pennybags and whoever it was who was in charge of making this St. Louis Monopoly. Now, listen, I get it. Maybe it's licensing. Maybe it's too expensive. Maybe certain places wouldn't let them use their name on the board without a huge fee, or they didn't want it at all. I don't know what it is. But I am boycotting St. Louis Monopoly.
Whoa.
Never going to play. If someone invites me over and said, Amy, you want to come over and hang out? Like, sure, I'd love to. Cool. We'll have some drinks and we can all play Monopoly, the new St. Louis Monopoly, to celebrate the city. I'm out. I'm not showing up.
You're not coming at all?
I'm not coming at all.
Why?
I'll sit at home and drink by myself.
That seems like an overreaction.
No. Guess who's not on the St. Louis Monopoly? Well, first, let's take you back to March when it was first announced. And Mayor Tashara Jones, you know her. She's the mayor of
She's
St.
the mayor
Louis.
of St. Louis City.
She had some ideas and said, what about the Muni?
Oh, great.
What
Love
about
Muni.
the Fox Theater?
Yeah, love
right?
the Fox.
Or even Club Imperial, where Chuck Berry and Tina Turner played?
Sure.
I mean, and at least the Muni, you could say, like, come on, be more creative. Obviously, the Muni is going to make it, right? Or the Fox Theater. No. Not only is the Muni nowhere to be found, or the Fox Theater, Busch Stadium isn't on St. Louis Monopoly.
Oh.
You think, oh, that's because the Cardinals, right? You don't want to double up. No! The St. Louis Cardinals aren't on St. Louis Monopoly.
Oh. Well, the Blues are on it.
The Blues are not on St.
What?
Louis Monopoly. Ted Drew's Frozen Custard, not on St. Louis Monopoly.
What?
The St. Louis Art Museum, not there.
Well, at least Emos is on it, right?
No.
No Emos?
I don't even know what city this is. Listen, I'm glad that Stray Rescue got a
Stray
shout
Rescue's
out.
great, yeah.
Come on. They're not, maybe, okay, listen, I'm glad Stray Rescue's on there, but how do you have Stray Rescue or let's see, the Merrimack River?
Merrimack River. Look,
But
the
not
Merrimack River.
not Busch Stadium. I love the Merrimack River.
I've had a good time on the
I
Merrimack River.
have floated many a
I
floats.
floated on the Merrimack River.
You've probably gotten blitzed on the Merrimack River.
I've never gotten blitzed on the Merrimack River.
Okay, here's another one, guys.
I was a child when I was on it.
The magenta squares, you think, okay, well, if Busch Stadium and the Cardinals on there, 314 day.
Okay,
I mean, that's
okay.
fine, but that's almost like doubling up, where it's like, why didn't you just put the St. Louis Monopoly on there?
So-
Make one of the squares the St. Louis Monopoly game now that we're doubling up.
I understand Mardi Gras being on it. We have the second
Yeah.
largest Mardi Gras celebration
Sure.
in the country. I don't understand St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
We have a fun St. Patrick's Day in Dogtown. That's a great time. I love it. But it doesn't seem like it would make the board.
And I love Clementine's ice cream.
I do too.
But how do you have Clementines and not Ted Drew's? Like, I don't mean to be mean, but when people come in from out of town, you bring them to Ted Drew's
And emos.
and Busch Stadium.
Well, at least the Hill made it. Soulard made it. Delmar Loop. That makes sense.
The Blue Square, so Boardwalk
this-
and Park Place, they are Forest Park and the Gateway Arch. I love it. That works for me.
Is it bad that I don't know what Novel Neighbor is?
It is a bookstore in Webster Groves,
Oh,
I think.
okay. But does it seem like the kind of thing that would make the... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's great. I love a local business. I love all this stuff. I can't imagine that you would leave off things that are clearly embedded in St. Louis, and I'm sure it's licensing. I'm sure you can't get
Listen,
it from Major League
right,
Baseball
I
or
guess.
the NHL. I get it, but
The NHL should not be discriminating. The
I
NHL
agree
needs
with you.
all of the
help
exposure it can get. Yes.
So if that means looking at a Monopoly board and seeing the St. Louis Blues on it, yes, let them do it.
And like I said, I love Stray Rescue, Operation Food Source, Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'm glad because that's community chest. I think that's a great call.
Yeah.
I think that absolutely should be there. What offends me more is 314 day. That's like saying, what's your favorite part? What's your favorite thing about Chris Ranji? His birthday?
Yeah, right.
That makes no sense.
That's my favorite part about me.
Yes, your birthday is when we celebrate you and like our favorite things about Chris Ranji. You can't double up. It's redundant. 314 day should not be a square. Neither, I don't know.
Well, here's what I know. If you are interested, it's still, look, I'm glad we're getting the recognition because we deserve to have some recognition. St. Louis does.
No.
You can purchase. Yes, we do. Stop it. Yes, we do.
Not like this. This isn't the kind I want.
The St. Louis edition of Monopoly retails for 45 bones. That's $45.
Mm-hmm.
And you can buy it at Four Hands, the Novel Neighbor, Clementine's, Billy G's, the Rep, Stray Rescue, Marriott, St. Louis Grand, and the World Chess Hall of Fame, or Amazon or Barnes & Noble.
And let me say this. I'm not poo-pooing these places. I love Clementine's. I go there all the time. I love their ice cream. But again, if you said ice cream in St. Louis, you have to think of Ted Drew's too. And how do you not have the Cardinals on there?
Again,
Busch Stadium.
licensing. It's got to be it. But why would you not? Amy.
This is like the Pescetti's scandal.
This is very close to the Pescetti's scandal. Can I tell you, I don't know if you missed this or not.
Yeah.
But you know how I love botched national anthems?
Oh, no.
I love a good
no.
botched national anthem.
Okay.
I love it so much. It's one of my favorite things. You all remember Carl Lewis.
I will say this. Yeah. Botched national anthems and political maps. He loves political maps.
I do love a political map. So over the weekend, there was a third-party presidential debate, which featured the likes of Jill Stein.
Ugh.
And she's awful.
She's
just
the worst.
completely worthless.
Yeah.
Singer Loomis, her name is Loomis, and she performed the national anthem.
For the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare. Can I go back? Can I go back, please? Bombs bursting, and then I got too nervous.
Okay.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I got too nervous. She goes, I blanked it up. I blanked it up.
Oh, no.
I got too nervous.
Can I go back? Can I go back, please? Bursting, and I got too nervous.
Dude, she go, can we go back?
They're
And the
like,
guy
"It's
says, we're
live."
live.
It's so sad.
It's
Listen,
the best.
I will say this, though.
Oh my God, it's so good.
How fitting is this for a third-party debate that
Just a crap show.
it is a complete circus?
What a waste of time. What
Oh
an
my
absolute
gosh.
waste of time. Look, I am all for there being more opportunities
Mhm.
for more candidates. We should be exposed to more candidates. But we can't have non-serious people on the ballot.
That's all you
You just
have
can't.
in the third
Can't
party.
have it. Can't have these RFKs who have no chance of. Look, it'd be great if there was a viable, actual, realistic third-party
Right.
candidate who could win. A third-party candidate, the way politics is now, absolutely has zero chance of winning. Zero. They will not win.
No, but
They
they're-
will not. They will. Jill Stein can accomplish nothing. So here's what I would say to Green Party people. And there are some parts of the Green Party platform that I kind of understand because they do care about the environment, which I think we should do a little more than we do because we live here. But if you really want to be serious as a presidential candidate, you need to build a framework of people around the country who are in office in lower level positions. You need to have state reps.
okay.
You need to have state senators. Then maybe you have some representatives in the House. Then maybe you have some U.S. senators, but you don't start at president.
I mean, it's got to be like, there's brands that you'll have, I don't know, like REI, right? And they've got all their name brands, but then every now and then they'll have a sale of shirts or boots that have something wrong with them. So they sell them like 70% off. Like, here's our, oops, we made a mistake. I just saw this with like a bedding place. Like if there were sheets or quilts that had something wrong,
Sure.
something was stitched wrong, you get it for 70% off. That's what the third party is. They're the oops, we made a mistake. Those are the third party candidates, because it must be that the Republican and Democratic Party, right, are bringing in all of the serious candidates, and what you have left is the riffraff. Because do you remember in 2016, Syria, and specifically Aleppo, which was it's a city in Syria, but it was at the very heart of their civil war and refugee crisis. It was in the news. And Libertarian presidential candidate Gary Johnson was asked on the Morning Joe panel, quote,
He didn't know what Aleppo
he
was.
goes, "What
right?
would you do if you were elected about Aleppo?" And Gary Johnson responded, "And what is Aleppo?
Yeah. I mean, you have no business.
What is Aleppo?
You have no business being there.
You can't. You don't.
It shouldn't even be allowed. And if you're not on the ballot in all 50 states, you should be on the ballot in 0 states.
Yeah. So then the MSNBC panelist, for what it's worth, said, "You're kidding." And Johnson said, "No." So the candidate had to explain, the MSNBC panel had to explain to Gary Johnson that Aleppo is, quote, the epicenter of the refugee crisis in Syria. He said, "Oh, okay." Listen, if you watch the
It's just
news,
ridiculous.
even, on the periphery, you knew about Aleppo. You knew about the Syrian refugee crisis. And here was a Libertarian Party presidential candidate, didn't even know what Aleppo was.
Not good.
Not great.
Text messages to 314-436-7900. This text message regarding the monopoly, the St. Louis monopoly. It says, does this mean Clementines could afford the licensing and Busch Stadium couldn't? No, I don't know. If
That's it.
I don't think it's what that is. No, Monopoly would have had to pay
Busch Stadium.
Busch
Yeah.
Stadium.
And
is what that
MLB.
means.
Like I said, maybe the Cardinals said no, which you're like, okay, MLB is weird, but not the Blues. The Blues can't be weird. Like the NHL can't be weird. The NHL needs to say, anywhere that you will talk about us, we will go.
Also, This may be the most important comment regarding St. Louis monopoly because it leads us to the best conclusion.
Okay.
And the best conclusion is we probably should boycott it because, as texter from a 636 says, is KMOX on the monopoly board?
Thank you.
It is not.
It is not.
And you cannot have a St. Louis monopoly board without the institution that is this place.
Which is the voice of St.
The
Louis.
voice of St. Louis, which next year will have been on the air for 100 years.
Unbelievable.
Our 100-year birthday is next year.
Jack Buck, Joe Buck, Bob Costas, Harry Carey. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Come on, get
you
serious.
know what? I have now been converted. St. Louis monopoly.
St. Louis boycottopoly.
Out. Yeah, that's exactly right. They can't put KMOX in it. It's not worth buying.
Not worth buying. Think of all the leftover pieces. Ted Drew's Busch Stadium, the Cardinals, the Blues, KMOX. You could put all of that and make your own Monopoly board, St. Louis Monopoly board. That's 100 times better. But hey, by the way, don't do that because they will come after you.
Can I go back? Can I go back, please?
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office.
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
Count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
KMOX proudly supports the Musial Awards, returning to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 23rd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Musial Awards an event like no other. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events.
Missouri's judicial system gives voters the final say in retaining their judges. So know your judges before you vote November 5th. Visit yourmissouriJudges.org. That's yourmissouriJudges.org.
Paid for by the Missouri Bar, Misha Epps, Executive Director.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Paid for by government. Now is the time to fill your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan silver dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Americans treasure owning silver bars and coins, putting them away for themselves and their loved ones. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. You'll be glad you did. Hurry, don't miss out on this special deal. Save $10 per silver bar. The more you buy, the more you save. Limit of 25 bars per customer. Call to learn more. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan silver dollar. That's a $59.95 value and free shipping. Call 1-800-222-3871 now to secure your 1-ounce Morgan silver dollar bars. That's 1-800-222-3871.
Right now, 38 states allow for sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 professional soccer teams, the KC Current and St. Louis City.
These days, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on much, but the Republican and Democratic candidates for governor are both supporting Amendment 2 because it means more money for education. Amendment 2 isn't like the lottery. There's a strong constitutional guarantee. The new money from sports betting will go to our schools. $100 million for education without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Vote yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
I see clearly now, thanks to the doctors, Birdie, Mahotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry. You can too. Go to youridoc.com.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing. And if you need a new water heater like today, maybe it just went out, send them a picture of your water heater for an estimate, and you could have same-day service. Call 314-500-LEAK and find them online at BEISplumbing.com.
I'm Andrew Stoles, and this is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Chris Ranji, Amy Markscore is with you. Shout out to listeners in Greece, Ranj.
Greece?
Greece, listening on...
Like the movie?
No, not in the movie. The country.
Oh, the country.
Yes, they are in Greece.
I've heard it's nice.
Listening to the Chris and Amy show on the Odyssey app, which you can download, and then on the KMOX page on the Odyssey app, there's a microphone button, and you can leave us a voice message.
You can leave us text messages too, even ones like this from a 636. Aleppo is one of the Marx brothers. No, come on.
Come on. That's
Guys, what are we
Zeppo.
doing here? No. No.
The Marx brother. Come on, man.
No, it's not,
Listen,
that's not how that
this
works.
is a real show.
You know what?
We prepare for this show. It's a real show with real content.
Yes.
Not nonsense about the Marx brothers.
Yes. I agree with you. What is this about the shortest first date ever?
Okay. Thank you. I knew there was something that I wanted to talk to you about because you seemed like you might have done this before. So this woman is going viral because, with like dating apps like Hinge or Bumble or Tumble or whatever it is. So she said it's the shortest first date ever. She got out of her car. She got dressed up to meet someone she met on a dating app. They'd been texting for weeks. They'd spoken on the phone, but this was their first official date. She was looking forward to it. She got out of the car. The guy got out of the car. They were still outside the restaurant, maybe 120 seconds into this thing. And the guy said, I'm just not feeling it. Turned around, walked, and left. So she was crushed. She shared her experience on TikTok, which now has like millions and millions of views.
I respect it.
Well, that's the conversation. They said,
it.
Is it rude or is it considerate because he didn't waste
more time? Because he already did waste her time a little bit.
I'll give you the answer. It's rude.
No, I think it's...
That means you looked at her, even she got all dressed up, she got her makeup on, and the thing is, they had pictures, and she said she's plus size, and she said she made it very clear, I'm plus size. She said you could see it in the pictures, and she told him, and he's like, I know, it doesn't matter. And so she's like, he saw me, and 2 minutes later is like, no. I think it is so rude. I hope he crashed his car on the way home. I hope he's okay, but I hope he crashed.
Well, no, why? That's not nice.
He wasted her time. He got her excited. She was, he led her on to believe, like, here are pictures. They had talked for weeks.
It's better than not showing up at all, don't you think?
He owed her that dinner. She deserved a free meal if he was going to pay for it because she got all ready. She got excited.
Huh.
What's the shortest date you've ever been on?
I always stick them out. I always keep going with it. And honestly, I don't think I've ever really been on a terrible date. I've never been on a bad one.
Have you ever been asked out?
Well, yeah.
No. Come on. Don't act like, come on.
Obviously, Amy.
I don't think
What kind of stupid question is that?
I believe you have not.
You think I've never been asked on a date?
Yeah, I could see like some girl be like, "Oh, we should hang out sometime." But I don't think you've ever been asked out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know for a fact of one time that it's happened.
I think you are the asker.
Well,
You
most
give
of the
off
time.
asker vibes.
Okay, what's that even? Amy, you're
Listen,
awful.
I'm going to be in control of I'll tell you when I'm ready to go
Hey,
on a date. That's what you do.
We have to go. We have to go now because
All
the
right.
Dave Glover show is coming up. But anything you missed is on the Odyssey app. You should download it, KMOX.com. We'll be back tomorrow with you, 10 o'clock. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji on KMOX. I tweeted so many bad words yesterday.
He tweeted at Andrea Mitchell.
Chatting today with Debbie about her experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. Now, Debbie, you had a huge project.